Keep the Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. TK. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock. TK. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom, everybody online. Welcome to another live class. We're here at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. Our class times are Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10. Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Friday from 6 to 8. And Saturday 10 to 2. All right, if you're local, feel free to join us. We'd love to have you. We also have a school in Virginia. It's a new school. It's at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. They got classes every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 7 to 9. All right, so if you're local in Virginia Beach or Chesapeake, Norfolk, go ahead and join them for class. All right, we also have a school in Albuquerque, and we also have brothers out. We have a school in San Antonio, and we also have brothers out in Albuquerque. If you want their class times, you can text me, and we'll get you that information. We got a feast coming up in December. It's Hanukkah, or Feast of Lights, December the 19th through the 26th. Damn, somebody already gave me a thumbs down? Wow. They must not like the way I'm doing the announcements. Someone already gave me a thumbs down. That is terrible. Wow, it's my blue shirt or my bald head. It's one of them. I already got a thumbs down. Con. That's funny. It must be. Yep. Must be an American lover. But yeah, we got Hanukkah on December the 19th to the 26th, all right? So it's an 8-day feast. We won't be having class some of those days. The days we get together, we won't be having class. So if we get together all 8 days, we're not going to have class. So if we get together some of the days, we may have class on the off days. Just depends. All right, just we'll announce it. We'll announce it as the time approaches, but I mean, we got a month and a few days. Today is the 11th, right? Yep, so we got a month and 8 days. It's all good. We have kids classes every Sabbath at 2 p.m. here live at the school. All right, so if you want your kids to participate, learn their nationality, their history, who they are according to the Bible, kids from ages 12 and under. All right, if you want them to watch the previously recorded classes, they can do so on ISBHBK Kids on YouTube. You could also check out the Blog Talk Radio show, the brother Mashaba, he does that from Albuquerque every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. All right, you could make sure you like, share, subscribe to our different YouTube channels. We got Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We got ISBHPK Virginia Live Class, ISBHPK Albuquerque, and ISBHPK San Antonio. All right, we're working on getting the 5 minutes of wisdom channel going, back up and running. So look out for that. So we got a lot of different things. We're gonna get back on the cable show, the Hidden Truth cable show. So look out for that. If you like any garments made, go on Facebook, search Everything Israel Wear, and you can place an order that way. I'm upset about this thumbs down, man. That hurt my heart. Already. Already I got a thumbs down. Wow, it's Monday blues. Monday blues.
The chills in the air.
Right?
Yeah.
This is it's a good class. It's not even con. If you'd like to reach a teacher, you can reach me. My number is 303-557-8979. You can reach Priest Kazakia out in Virginia at 281-707-2737. Oh, also, the school department is selling French shirts also. All right, aside from Israel Wear. So they have those in the back. If you like one, you can put in an order for those also. She'll put the information up of how they look and the pricing. All right, you could also email us at isbhpk@isbhpk.org. Any donations you like to give, you could put them in the Wells Fargo account. You can mail them to the school, or you can send it via Google Wallet, any monetary donations. Anything you want to mail to the school, any books, pens, papers, Bibles, dictionaries, apocryphers, anything you want to mail, you can mail them to any one of these locations, any one of the school locations. It's all greatly needed, greatly appreciated. We're looking for we need a bigger building here out in Houston. So if anybody got the hookup on some real estate, or if you know somebody that knows somebody, because you know it's not what you know, it's who you know, please hit us up. We want to get a bigger location without paying the bigger money. Yeah, that's the challenge. Trying to keep the money the same. But that's going to be it for the announcements. So we're gonna get into this class. So this was one I was gonna do last week. This was one that I was gonna do last week, but we had a couple of new brothers, so we went over some basics. And it's another good one, man. Just, I was just looking into the educational system. And when I say the educational system, I mean K through 12. And then college. And there's always this push that way. You got to put your kids in school. They got to go kindergarten, right? Or pre-K all the way to 12th grade. And then what is the push that they're pushed into college, right? They got to go to college. If you don't go to college, then you're basically a bum. You're wasting your life, right? That's what America says. And our people, we've adopted that thought process. We've adopted the thought process of college and what do they call it? Higher education? Right? Higher education. And if you don't have this education, you can't really make anything out of your life. Now, the funny part about it is, and I think Kazakia said it sometime last week. No, he said it in a different class. I was watching one of his old classes. And America tells you go to college, go to school, 4 years of college. You got to do that to make it, but some of the richest men in America never even graduated high school. Right? Bill Gates, he barely got through high school. Steve Jobs didn't go to no college. A lot of these men that are entrepreneurs, they didn't go through the the educational system that is pushed to us as Israelites. Now, why do y'all think that is? Why do you think they push us to college? Like it's a thing from early in your education, like you're doing this to get into college. You said what?
Keep you enslaved to them.
Oh yeah. That's the main thing, to keep you as a slave. So we're gonna go through and explore, how does this happen? I know a lot of people's like, well, that's probably why I got a thumbs down, because of the title. Like education can't be bad. How does it lead to slavery? Well, let's explore. Let's go to Kings. Let's go to 2 Kings 17. Let's understand why. Because it is a curse, and it is wrong for us to have to learn from our enemies. To be educated by your enemy, that's a curse. So let's see, before we even get to the curses, before we get to Deuteronomy, let's see what Israel was up to, what we were doing, why we had to be now, thousands of years later, under the white man's educational system via, you got the East Indians, they write a lot of the textbooks. The Chinese, they write a lot of the textbooks and the curriculum for our children to learn. So let's see what Israel was up to, man, and why we have to be educated by, the enemy, right? Doesn't the scriptures, I'm not going to go there, but not yet. Read 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 7 through 20. Read verse 7.
2 Kings chapter 17, verse 7.
Right, make sure you read nice and loud and clear. Go ahead.
For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Most High.
Go ahead.
Which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt.
Right.
From under the land of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. And walked in the statutes of the heathen.
We did what?
Walked in the statutes of the heathen.
Right, so Israel always had this reputation of wanting to walk in the statutes of these heathenistic nations. Go ahead.
Whom the Most High cast out from before the children of Israel.
Right. The Most High destroyed Egypt. What do we want to do? We want to be like Egypt. He destroyed Persians and Medes. What do we want to be? The Persians and Medes. You see the Greco-Roman Empire is going down, but what do we want to cling to? We want to cling to Greco-Roman American ideas. Go ahead.
And of the kings of Israel, which they had made.
Right, go ahead.
And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Most High.
And just like when you go back to Adam, right? When you go back to Adam all the way back, we did secret wickedness, man. We hid ourselves amongst the nations and we did what they did. We did their filth. We committed their abominations. Go ahead.
And they built them high places in all their cities.
Go ahead.
From the tower of the watchman to the fenced city.
Mm-hmm.
And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree.
Go ahead.
And there they burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen, whom the Most High carried away before them.
Right. Just like when you read in Psalms 106 and verse 35, it said we were mingled amongst the heathen and we learned their works. Right? We sacrificed our children. We sacrificed to their gods. And in turn, the Most High gave us over. He gave us over to their rule. They rule over us. Go ahead.
And wrought wicked things to provoke the Most High to anger.
Right? Go ahead.
For they served idols.
See, we did what?
They served idols.
See, instead of serving the Most High, we served idols. Now, we do the same thing today. Israel's history just keeps repeating itself. You might not be putting up an altar and burning incense to Belial or Molech, but when you put those Nikes on a pedestal, right? When you put your car, when you put your house, when you put all these things above the Most High, you're sacrificing to these gods, man. When you rather give yourself to be able to provide those things for yourself other than giving yourself to the Most High and what He wants, you're putting these things up as other gods. Go ahead. What verse you at?
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Whereof the Most High said unto them, you shall not do this thing.
Right.
Yet the Most High testified against Israel
Read.
and against Judah.
Go ahead.
By all the
So
prophets.
remember, it's Israel and Judah. It's not just 3 tribes. It's not just 9.5. Israel and Judah, the whole kingdom, the whole nation, excuse me, all 12 tribes was guilty. Go ahead.
By all the prophets.
Uh-huh.
And by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments.
Do what?
Keep my commandments.
Go ahead.
And my statutes.
Read, because this was, as we're going to go through it, this was our education, the commandments and the statutes. That was what we were educated in. That was really the only education you needed. Yeah, we do math. Listen, when you read about Daniel and the 3 holy children, they said that they were skillful in math and science. So we knew math, we knew science, but was it to the extent of how you're learning math and science now? No. You learn a whole different type of math and a whole different type of science. And we went through all the science lies, right? We went through all the things that the white man teaches us in science, and they use it to confound us. Now, we had actual scientific knowledge of the earth. Solomon had knowledge of the elements. Daniel, it said he was proficient in all science and math. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
According to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants, the prophets.
Go ahead.
Notwithstanding, they would not hear.
And he said he sent the law to us by his servant, the prophets, because did not Moses educate the people? Did not Moses give Israel, when they were pulled out of Egypt, their education in the law?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 14. Notwithstanding, they would not hear.
They would not what?
They would not hear.
Yeah, we didn't want this education. We didn't want to be educated this way. We didn't feel like it was profitable. Read on.
But hardened their necks.
Yeah, we stiffed up our neck, hard-headed, right? We hardened our necks. We turned away our ear from hearing the law of the Most High, from being educated. Go ahead.
Like to the neck of their fathers.
Just like our forefathers. Read.
That did not believe in the Most High.
Go ahead.
And they rejected his statutes.
Read.
And his covenant that he made with their fathers.
Uh-huh.
And his testimonies which he testified against them.
Go ahead.
And they followed vanity.
They did what?
And they followed vanity.
And that's what we ran after, man. We ran after the vain things, things of no profit. We followed vanity. Now, I know we're in the book of Kings, but this happened throughout Israel's entire existence, from Adam until now. Y'all get that, right?
God.
Go ahead.
And became vain.
And then it made us vain. It made us nothing. Our thoughts, our actions was reputed as nothing to the Most High. Go ahead.
And went after the heathen that were round about them.
Right, because the Most High even said it. He said the heathen are nothing. So we became just like the heathen nations that the Most High said was nothing. Because we rejected the education that the Most High was trying to give us.
God.
Remember, how did Daniel, how were you at?
God.
Go to Daniel 4, Daniel chapter 1 and verse 4, but how were you at? Daniel chapter 1 and verse 4.
Daniel chapter 1, verse 4.
Go ahead.
Children in whom was no blemish.
Go ahead.
But well favored.
Read.
And skillful in all wisdom.
Read.
And cunning in knowledge.
In knowledge. Go ahead.
And understanding science.
Read.
And such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace.
This was talking about Daniel and the 3 holy children. Now, the scriptures tell us in Deuteronomy 6 that when you rose up, when you sat down, you taught your child the law. Right? You taught them the law back and front. Now in the law, is there not mathematics?
God.
Is there not measurements?
God.
Is there not wisdom?
God.
Is there not science and chemistry and mixing of different spices, the apothecary?
Khan.
Khan.
Yes, sir.
So there was a learning of these different things. But again, it's not the same math and science that they pump to you in high school or they pump to you in middle school or they tell you that you need in college for the rest of your life. Go ahead, jump back. So Daniel, if Daniel was skilled in all wisdom, knowledge, and science, and he knew the law, that means all Israel was skilled in science and knowledge and being able to use the sun, the moon, and the stars for our service. Go ahead. Go back to Kings.
Second Kings chapter 17, last precept, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Concerning whom the Most High had charged them,
Right.
that they should not do like them.
Right? So he told us, don't be like the heathen. Ain't that one of Israel's biggest problems?
Absolutely.
We love to chase the white man. We love to chase every other nation and be like them at all costs, no matter how detrimental it is for our well-beings. We'll chase down Esau's education and really, really think that because now you got a piece of paper, right? You got your PhD. A PhD don't make you intelligent. It don't even make you educated. A PhD don't even really make you educated in the things that you should be educated in. What do you got? MBA? What you got? PhD, MBA? What else you got? What's all the little 3-letter acronyms?
Doctrine.
Right? Your doctorate, right? What else? Your associates, your bachelors, your masters. Masters in what? What does it make you a master in to have a master's? In that field? And we'll talk more about that as we go on, because you got to ask yourself, why is it that they I'm not going to jump. Read on.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And they left all the commandments of the Most High and made
So we
them
left off the education of the Most High. Go ahead.
and made them molten images,
And we decided to serve gods. Read.
even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served Baal.
Now, if the heathen were doing this, and I mean, when you think about it, it's like, man, you serving a golden calf? You're serving a golden cow? How idiotic is that?
Right.
Right? How intelligent are you to bow down to a calf? Or bow down to some shoes, or bow down to your woman, or bow down to a car?
In the Mexican culture, it's so sickening that, like, even in my family members, they have the Santa Muerte. They
Right.
put the little statues up, they give it a little water, they give it a little smoke, and whatever.
Day of the Dead, right? What is that? Santa Muerte? That's
It's a death.
right. Isn't that like the Day of the Dead where they worship the dead?
She's
Not-
like the Grim Reaper for the Mexican culture.
Oh, okay.
There's this popular saying that says, God protects me, but she guides me.
Death angel guides you. The Grim Reaper of death guides you to what? Right to death. But through what? Through all these things that America says you need. You need our education. But why do they tell you that you need their education and not the Most High's education? Well, there's a difference between the two. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 17. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire.
To do what?
To pass through the fire.
Right, so once you went through and sacrificed yourself, now you push the same things to your children. Well, I went to school and college, so you gotta go. I went and did this, now you gotta go. Now, I'm not saying not to have your kids learn arithmetic, basic arithmetic and reading, and they need that stuff. They need that stuff, but what I'm trying to have you see is we knew how to read, we knew how to write, we knew how to spell, we knew how to do math, we knew how to do all that without having to go sit in the white man's school, in the white man's college, and make it seem like he's our father. Think about it. When you got your kids walking in that classroom and all they got is white authority, what does it push into their head?
That white men have a dominion over
That the
our
white
children.
man got the dominion. That's automatically what happens when a kindergarten child walks into that school, walks into that class. He just got a white teacher. It's no longer the black face he's used to seeing. but it's the old white woman or the disgruntled old white man. And what do? They're barking orders. No, you sit down. No, you go in the corner. No, you do this, you that. And it automatically establishes a different type of authority figure over your child as an Israelite. And it puts that mind that the white man is over me.
Yeah.
It starts early, man. It starts early. Train up a child, right? So if I train him early that the white man is his oppressor, well, you're not being oppressed, you're being educated, you're being taught. The white man is smarter than you. He's the one that has to teach you. What am I telling my child as they grow up? That he always has to go to the white man for everything.
God, you know, even with like my newborn baby, and I have her watch like these educational programs on YouTube for like babies and toddlers and things of that nature, and it's funny, man. Like all the little kids that they'll have on there, they're all Esau, all Esau. You don't see no Israelite baby from the whole 12. You don't see none of that. You don't see no Arabs really. You don't even really see no Asians. It's all Esau, all the kids. And not only that, but like when they get to like, for instance, like when they're teaching them like the ABCs, when it gets to like a queen, the letter Q, and they'll be like, the Q is for queen. You get the blonde haired, the blue eyed white lady as the queen. And I was just thinking, I was just thinking like, damn, like what is this, doing to her at a young age? Just looking at it and it's deeper.
It's programming. It's a mental, psychological, deep programming that starts very, 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 very early. And we got to be aware of what's going on. And this is how we know. Watch. Read on. What verse you at?
Verse 17, second precept.
Go ahead.
And use divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Most High.
Go ahead.
To provoke him to anger.
Right, jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. And the Most High rejected all the seed of Israel.
He did what?
He rejected all the seed of Israel.
Yeah, because of all of our wickedness and wanting to chase the heathen, he rejected us. Right? My people are destroyed for a lack of what?
Knowledge.
Right, knowledge, education. But was it the fact that we couldn't multiply? Was it the fact that you didn't know algebra 2 trigonometry? And Darwin's theory of evolution and gravity? And no, it was the knowledge of the Bible, the education of the Bible. Go ahead, read on.
And afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of spoilers.
Wait, the hands of educators.
Spoilers.
No, the ones that were going to build them up.
Spoilers.
They were going to educate them and make them just like them. I said them a lot. They call them spoilers. Right? He said he delivered us into the hand of spoilers, man. Now, if you think that the white man is not spoiling your children, he didn't spoil you, you got it twisted. If you think that America, with everything they throw at you, is not trying to spoil you as an Israelite, you're not looking at the right things.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Until he had cast them out of his sight.
Right, go to Deuteronomy 28:48. So the Most High said he delivered the nation into the hands of spoilers, man. Not into the hands of preservers. The white man wasn't meant to preserve us. These other nations that we were in captivity, the Egyptians, they weren't trying to preserve us.
Not at all.
They were trying to destroy us. And now in this captivity, what do y'all think? What y'all think? You think Harvard is trying to preserve you? You think Spelman and Princeton, right? And these HSBUs and all, like, what y'all think? That these institutions are meant to preserve Israel?
Not at all.
Nah.
Well, just like you said, I mean, you don't even really think about it until it gets brought to your attention. Like literally, it's like mind blowing. You don't think about it, but even like you said, from an early age, and then it's perpetuated throughout their entire school. And then the one thing that just really just hit me, like when you said this, that we're not writing the books. Israel
No.
isn't writing the books.
Nope.
It's our captors, it's our haters, it's the nations that are writing the books. So they're not gonna write the truth
No.
Yep.
at all. That's actually being taught by the heathens. That it's just a perpetuation of the lies and
Yeah.
the programming of what it is they want us to do, to think, to believe, to act.
There's a reason why they want to spoil though. It's no different why it's no different why they make homosexuality legal with marijuana. It's no different why they'll make high fructose corn syrup
And everything.
and put it in every single thing. It's no different why they, there's not a Whole Foods in the hood, but there's a
Popeyes everywhere.
there's Popeyes, there's McDonald's, there's Burger King, there's Taco Bell, there's Whataburger,
Liquor stores.
It's all the bad stuff. It all boils down to this. It's Deuteronomy 28. And it boils down, like I said, we were delivered into the hands of spoilers.
Yes, sir.
So on every aspect, how can we spoil this people? Well, we're going to spoil their diet. We're going to spoil the way they dress. And then we're going to spoil the way they think. We're going to spoil them in the things that they learn. Even gassing them up to think like, oh yeah, I went to Harvard. Oh yeah, I went to college. I went to community college. You get spoiled in that because you think that going to community college is the end all be all, or it's supposed to be the propelling to a next level. Now, think about how many of our people that went to college. I went to college. Went to college for a little bit. And it really didn't propel me past anything. It didn't set me up for the next level. Because you don't have to have that to go to the next level. Again, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and there's countless others that have not set foot in a college, but to give presentations on how to use their products, right? But they're they're more successful than Donald Trump. I don't think he went to college. He definitely didn't go to college. His daddy gave him $1 million. He invested it, and look, now he's the damn president.
Or what they do is it's like this big scandal that's going on right now in the news, where you have these rich celebrities and they're paying for their kids to pass these SATs. So the kid ain't really passed the SAT that's required for them to get into this college, but they're paying the college so that their kid can go in there and that the kid can have a certain certificate. That's like what they would do. Like everybody knows that George Bush is retarded. That's what they did with him. They paid for him to go to Harvard and so that he can do his thing. It's like a big thing right now going on in
there's a couple of celebrities that got arrested for it. It was over there in like some college UCLA. Yeah, they were paying. I think Dr. Dre got caught up in that.
But
some other celebrity, but it just shows you how you'll pay your way, you'll cheat your way into this institution, but is it going to benefit you? It might benefit the white folks because it's made for them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like it benefits them.
It'd be for them because they can flash that piece of paper. Oh, you got your doctorate. Oh, okay, we're gonna let you into this job. But us is a different story.
Even if you got it.
Deuteronomy 28:48. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Go ahead.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee.
Go ahead.
In hunger.
In what?
In hunger.
Not right. So when you throw your kid in K through 12, kindergarten through 12th grade, they walk, they go to school, right? And they feed them. They feed them what they want to feed them. You can't choose. You're not choosing what lunch program they're getting. They're getting the burger in the tin wrap with the stale fries, right? They're getting the corn dogs filled with pork. They're getting the mystery meat meatloaf. That's what I remember getting. I remember going to school in New York. Man, come on. It's wild because we got damn government food. And then I remember when I moved to Colorado, there was a Chick-fil-A in the damn school. There was a Chick-fil-A and a 7-Eleven. Then they had the lunch food. So, and I lived in a white area. So they was eating, I guess if you want to say good, but it wasn't that regular old run-of-the-mill government food that taxpayers pay for. You got Chick-fil-A. right? You got upper echelon sandwiches. But read it again.
Verse 48.
Uh-huh.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
Go ahead.
which the Most High shall send against thee.
Right, and you serve them when you throw your kids in that school for 12 years, man. Go ahead.
In hunger,
And they feed them, read.
and in thirst,
They give them what they want to drink.
and in nakedness.
And if it's a private school, you got to wear this type of attire. You got to wear this type of attire to attend this school. Or you can't dress this way, or you can't dress that way. Right? When you look at public school now, all it is just a bunch of pants-sagging niggas. Right? They just walk around pants just hanging off their ass, man. Because the school is not going to say, hey, pull your pants up. They like that. They like when your daughters go to school with her little areolas out. She's 12. And she's getting all the little high school dudes enticed.
Yep.
They don't, how come they don't stop that? How come they don't teach? If school was so important, why aren't they teaching your children how to present themselves in a dress code?
You know what my real told my little sister? This was before the truth. But my real told my little sister this, man, when she was from the start of high school. She was like, oh, you're gonna love high school. Every day in high school is like a fashion show.
Yeah.
But I ain't think nothing of it now, but since you're talking
That's
about
what
it,
it
I'm
is.
like,
That's
damn,
what it was
really
for me.
what high school was.
I was like, how am I
Fashion
gonna,
show.
I'm gonna go fresh to death, popping tags.
You didn't learn nothing. It was just,
Nah, it was you show up in the hallway and who had the freshest kicks.
yeah.
You had man, listen, J's, everything. I made sure I was in there.
Listen, man, in A-Leaf, in high school in A-Leaf, if you was an Israelite, you was checked for everything.
Yeah.
If you had on a polo and it was USPA,
It's
you
a
were a
rap.
clown.
If
You had to have the actual Ralph Lauren.
If the horse was riding the man,
Yeah, like
yeah, that ain't no polo, man. That's bolo.
if you spelled the Jordan, if the Jordan was spelled J-A-R-D-A-N,
Ah, that's
you
Jordache.
was,
Yeah, we ain't rocking that. You gotta have it authentic.
yeah.
But you're serving your enemy because now, what is it? Well, I gotta go to school and look a certain way. It's not about me getting educated.
Nope.
I gotta look a certain way, so I gotta put the pressure on my parents to do what? Mom, I need a new J's. I need this. I need that. I did it the opposite way. I just went to work. And I was like, man, screw school.
I mean, just think about the first day of school. The first day of school, you went, you got a haircut,
Ooh.
you picked out your freshest gear,
Ooh.
either for your child or for yourself when you were younger. You got your haircut, you pulled out your freshest gear, and you went to school, and it was just for one day. But it was, you weren't excited to go to school to learn. It was like, I got to look good.
I'm about to stunt. Yeah, I'm about to look good. I'm about to, my gear's on point, got these brand new shoes, got the new J's. Everybody's gonna be looking at me. But that's what the enemy wants. They don't want you to be focused on any type of, your children to be focused on any learning. Especially after they hit like middle school, learning is a wrap. It's all about fashion and popularity, right? Friends, the popular circle. Social media. After, 8th grade? When they hit 9th grade, maybe even before 8th grade.
I think
It starts in
middle
7th.
school.
Even middle school,
Starts
yeah.
middle school.
It's like education is no longer the reason to go to school. I gotta go to school because I want to be with the cool kids.
You know what it was now that I think about it? In middle school, that's where you were able to go to class without walking with your whole classroom. You were just given a schedule. You had that freedom.
You went to different periods because you had homeroom.
Yeah.
I remember that. You're
So-
right.
So
7th,
during
8th, 9th,
elementary and intermediate,
6th, 7th, and 8th. Yeah, you had homeroom and then you was able to dip through the school
yeah.
and you had your little backpack.
You had your locker.
You had your locker at homeroom though. Your locker was in homeroom where your jacket was. And you were able to move around.
In middle school, middle school. But the thing is that when you were in elementary and intermediate school, you rolled with your whole class. The whole class went to lunch together, sat together during lunch, restroom, all that. As soon as that's over, everything starts in middle school because you're not with just your whole class anymore. You go to your different classes, your different periods. So during that time, that's when school you started seeing like boys and girls holding hands and making out, and it's like
That's what I was doing.
that's what you saw. Like you fresh in the middle school, that's what you saw. Like the older.
Hey, I was chasing. For me,
started doing
school was chasing girls. That's it. That's all I wanted to do was chase girls.
When you get to high school, it's like it goes from chasing girls to just
Not even going to school.
that
I didn't even go.
drugs.
I didn't know. God,
Yeah.
Drugs, sex.
drugs, sex, and
all.
alcohol.
It's like it just
Drugs,
adds.
sex, and rock and roll, right?
Yeah, man.
But they put you, they have your children in these conditions, man. Think about it, for 12 years. 12 years, they're feeding them, they're clothing them, they're pumping into their brains what they want them to know about the world. What they want them to know about themselves. You gotta think about that. They're telling your children what they want them to know about themselves. No, you're this person. You're not the Israelite, you're the Gentile. You're not the greatest man on the earth, you're the slave. For 12 years, your kids have been hit with that. Slave, 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 slave. Think about it.
Yeah, man.
It embeds into their subconscious. Now when they go out, they graduate, what do they want to be? A slave.
Subconsciously, yeah.
Right where I'm from, in South Texas, off the border of Mexico, all the schools are named after all the white victors. So you have all these Spanish communities, and you
They're all
have
called Columbus.
smash.
They're all called Columbus High.
You got Davy Crockett, you got James Boone, you got Thomas Jefferson.
Crockett.
Yup.
Sam Houston.
Read on. Finish that up.
Verse 48.
I'm gonna die. Hold on.
I also wanted to just say too, not only is that madness pumped in the schools, but the children that you're next to or our kids are next to,
Mhm.
the white parents are feeding their kids that same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids are coming to school and treating the black, Israelite kids exactly the way their parents treat Israelite parents in the world.
Yeah. But you know what's funny about that? As I look at a lot of these younger kids, these younger Edomite kids and Elamites and Chinese kids, and I feel there's a shift in that because a lot of them want to be with black guys, with black girls. They want to be black guys. So now they're like, no, wait a minute. To be a black person is cool.
Yep.
I'm going to dress like you, talk like you, because I want to be around you. To be like you is cool. But I'm not going to introduce you to my family because they're gonna shun me, right? And yeah, the parents are on this level of, again, the same way the school pushes an idea, they push that same idea. But a lot of these kids, man, these little white girls, bro, they trying to get them a nigga at all costs. At all costs. They want a black man, and they're young.
They want an Israelite.
They want an Israelite man. And they're like, man, I know my dad hates black. I had one tell me, yeah, my dad don't like black people, but I love black men. She was like a junior in high school. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. She rolled through the mall one day, and she did the look like, don't wave to me. Like, kind of like looked through the corner like, and just kept walking like, don't recognize me, don't see me, don't acknowledge me because she was with her dad. Yeah. Because then it's like, well, who's that black man that's waving to you or saying hi to you? But when he ain't there, they come up, they talk, they hang out because they want to be around the presence of gods.
Ooh.
They want to be around the presence of gods, but they won't show their parents that because, that idea is being pushed to them that we're under them. Finish verse 48 and 48.
God. And in want of all things,
Right?
and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Right, he shall put until what? Go ahead.
Until he have destroyed thee.
And we know that yoke is a mental yoke. That yoke is a mental yoke of, I'm going to strangle you with this education. I'm going to strangle you with all these useless fillers and all these useless classes to where it just burdens you down and you'll never get ahead because you didn't live up to standard. You didn't pass the SATs and get a high enough grade because you didn't understand Algebra 2. You didn't understand chemistry. You didn't understand pre-calculus. Like, who the hell needs that? Who in here needs pre-calculus?
I don't even remember what pre-calculus was about.
It was about a lot of numbers and A's and B's mixed together. When you mix numbers into math, there's a damn problem.
Confusion.
When you put an alphabet in math, that's no longer math. That's just some made-up jargon, man.
Yep.
But they use that to confuse us, and then look, see, you ain't good enough. Because little Billy over here, he's a mathematician at 11, so he can break down A minus B plus C squared. And you're like, what the hell? That don't even make sense. In our Israelite brain, A plus B minus C, what is that?
It's confusion.
It's confusion because it's not math.
God.
There's this video I watched, and it was I Sued the Public School System, and in that video he says that they teach us things that we were never meant to do, and he leads it off with a fish is not meant to climb a tree, but they treat us like that because they only teach one way.
They teach one way, yeah. They teach you one way, and if you're not equipped to climb, you stay at the bottom. Go from there.
Oh, can I get one?
Go ahead.
Can I get 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16? Just to piggyback off of the Deuteronomy 28:48.
Remember, this is the curse, man.
God.
The curse is for your enemy. The curse is for us to be in subjection in all things to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna go back to what you was talking about in school.
Mhm.
Everybody wanted to be like the blacks,
Right?
but they don't want to go through the curses.
They don't.
God gonna do them.
Nope. Nah, everybody want to be black, but you don't want to be black.
Yeah.
It's cool to be black until you gotta be black.
So you gotta be black. Yeah.
It's cool to walk around and have that little swag and that little limp in your walk and talk the talk, but what do you say? Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. Right?
What was that scripture up?
It's 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. It's funny you say that. I saw this video of this rapper, up and coming rapper. He was an Edomite and he got beat up real bad because he claimed to be in a gang that he wasn't in. So that gang beat his ass. So, sorry. But, everybody wants to be down until it's time to be down.
Yeah.
You want to be part of a gang and follow our negative culture so bad, but look what it got you.
That's your beat down. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High,
Go ahead.
and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you.
And just to piggyback off this Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48, it says you're going to serve your enemies in hunger, thirst, nakedness, and want of all things. They know that. They know that. So, and they know that we're the temple of the Most High, and that the Most High is supposed to dwell in us. But because we're serving our enemies in hunger, the Most High is not going to dwell in the unclean temple. So they make sure, when we go into school, they make sure they feed us the BS. You a child coming up, it's like my little daughter. When I got her watching these little kids cartoons for the babies, they always got a pig in everything. They always got the pig eating the pepperoni pizza. They always got just some BS with the pig. So now you, as a child, you come up, you don't think there's nothing wrong with the pig. And then you coming up, you growing, but they put pork in everything. So you're like, ain't nothing wrong with pork, but you've been trained from a child to eat this pork, to be good with this pig. But your body's the temple of the Most High. The Most High is supposed to be dwelling in your body, but you serving your enemy in hunger. The Most High don't dwell in an unclean temple. So you grow up eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Most High ain't dwelling with you. You serve your enemy in thirst. What they giving our kids to drink? Milk? Come on, man. Think when you was in school.
Chocolate and strawberry milk.
Man, people used to fight over milk. You got the last chocolate milk. Bro, give me your milk. You getting bullied over your milk? Bro, give me your milk. You ain't gonna drink that. Sell me your milk. Y'all remember how it was in elementary school about those milks?
Yeah.
But they, in thirst, man, they making us drink BS. You a child, you addicted to the juice because our parents didn't raise us on Tampico and Kool-Aid. So you got high blood pressure and all these things, man, just running through you from a young age. And in nakedness, look at the clothes that they make us wear. Most High ain't gonna dwell in the temple when it's decked like how we dress. Most High ain't with that. So our temple is unclean, and we serving our enemies. They know they gonna make sure that our temple always stays unclean, physically, and most of all mentally. With the education that they teach us. Because the Most High is not going to dwell in an unclean temple, period. The scripture says that wisdom is going to flee deceit. So into a malicious soul, wisdom will not enter. They make sure that we stay deceitful, malicious, and that are
in a body that's subject unto sin.
kind. You was going to say?
That kind of goes into, correlates with the class that I watched for Virginia, the age of consent. Now that we, as children, as they're growing up, they're accountable for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They are, but it's hard to be accountable it's hard to be accountable when from the age of 3, certain things have been put into your head.
Yeah.
That's why it's important for us as parents to make sure that you gotta uproot. They come home from school, man, you gotta uproot what has been put in them and put the right things in them. Did you finish that?
Go ahead, verse 17.
Verse 17. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy.
That's why the majority of us, man, we were destroyed before we found this truth. And our people out in the world, they still destroyed. Go ahead.
For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are.
Yeah, man, we not holy no more. Read.
Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool.
It says, if any man seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool. And I love the scripture, especially for this class topic, because you'll look at a man like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Nikola Tesla, whatever their names are, whatever all these like so-called smart guys are, especially that guy that's in the wheelchair.
Tesla was actually smart. He actually knew what the hell he was doing.
Well,
All the other guys were idiots.
Yeah, but what's the guy in the wheelchair?
That died?
He might have died.
Yeah, he died.
Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, the scientist. He died. Hawkins.
Stephen Hawkins. In the world, they put him up as like this super smart guy. He's in a wheelchair, so all he got to use is his brain. So he's like super smart, according to the world, right? But this is the thing. Look at him. You're gonna sit there. You're gonna say you're gonna claim to be super smart, but you don't believe in the Most High. You believe that the Most High ain't nothing. Well, since he's super smart, then remember Dawam said this. Since he's super smart, let him get up and figure out a way to move his body. To start walking again. Since he's super smart and you want to deny the power of the Most High.
God.
He's a fool at the end of the day. He's a fool. It's like my dad, man. My dad watches this guy in Jamaica that's supposed to be really smart. Muta something. Muta Baruka. But Muta Baruka don't believe in God. So I had to tell my dad one day, like, this is the smartest retarded person I've ever seen. You're supposed to be super smart, but you don't believe in God. These people claim to be smart, but they believe that we came from evolution, a Big Bang Theory, and they teach us that. And then we give them all this honor and glory and props. Nah, man. Nah, it says whoever is wise in this world, let him become a fool. Let him become a fool. Well, yeah, that's it on that. Oh, verse 19, I'm sorry. Read verse 19.
I'm going to finish the 18. Let him become a fool that he may be wise.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High.
And that's what it is, man. The wisdom of this world, the educational system, the knowledge of this world, it's foolishness. It's foolishness compared to the wisdom that we have now. And I can ask any of y'all in class, anybody online, if you were to go back to school right now with this wisdom that we gain, especially when you've been in the truth for a minute, if you were to go back to when you were in high school, middle school, you feel like you would make straight A's, don't you? You feel like you would be a straight A student, honor roll, AP classes, graduate when you're 16, 15. But why? Because you have the wisdom of the Most High.
God.
That's the only reason why. You think on a broader level. The American educational system don't teach you to think. It teaches you to just be a slave. You go to college and you learn things that you need to be, that you need to learn to be a good slave. You don't learn to create nothing. You don't learn to do certain things. You learn to be a good slave. Oh, it's lucky.
It's all good. Go to
Shirai. Got a question.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So for like these really smart people that, like Steve Jobs or Stephen
Right.
Hawkins, if they did, did the Most High inspire them to be super smart? If it wasn't something necessarily taught?
Think about it. Steve Jobs is the inventor of what? The iPad, the iPhone, right? He's the co-founder of Apple. But he even said it. He wouldn't even let his kids play with an iPhone or an iPad. So if the things that he's came up with are not suitable for his children, why do we give it to our children? But to get to the question, again, we just read it. What is the wisdom that they're given? How is the iPhone or Apple promoting the Most High? So their wisdom, right? It says it's foolishness. That like, okay, you made a phone into a bar, and everybody does what now? They do this.
It's like
They do this all day. Like, what did Steve Jobs turn everybody into?
Zombies.
He turned your
Antisocial.
child He turned grown-ass people into zombies, into antisocial social clubs. He turned you into thumb flickers, right? Social media addicted, right? That's what he created. So no, the Most High ain't with that.
And I was gonna say too, like it's like the scripture that say that the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel.
Cruel.
So even though you think that, oh yeah, you make this tablet, it has a lot of benefits. And the iPhone, yes, it has a lot of benefits, but it's still super destructive. Like the destruction outweighs the actual benefits.
Yeah, because what's the benefit of an iPhone? We had phones before the iPhone, right? You just pick, right? But again, the negatives outweigh the positives, where now you got so much more access. Now you got to go on social media fast. And it's not just the iPhone, it's phones in general, the way they're built. And tablets. If it's not a phone, it's a tablet. If it's not a tablet, it's a computer. If it ain't a computer, it's a TV. So everything is built to grasp your mind. And again, if you sit in front of a phone all day, what are you being educated by? More than likely, it's social media. Or it's somebody else's life. You ain't on the phone like, oh yeah, Bible app.
Right.
You're on the phone like, oh, Bible app. Let me play that back and forth, baby. Back to the front, let me rewind Genesis. You like, shit, snap, selfie. And you do the thing where your tongue comes out and you do the dog selfie. Come on, man. You just get butt naked on the phone and sell the photos. So yeah, the Most High is not with it, but it's a device that they've created. I'm gonna come back to you.
My husband pointed out for the Apple phone, their logo is a half-eaten apple.
It is a half-eaten apple.
Yeah, and he associated it with like Adam and Eve with her.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. But remember, it wasn't an apple that she ate. But I get what you're saying. It's the subliminal message that's behind it. I get what you're saying.
I'm from. I was raised in the Catholic Church, and they tell us it was an apple.
Yeah, I get the subliminal. That's the thing. They try to push these subliminal messages through these companies. I always say that Apple is like the umbrella company in they're like the umbrella company in Resident Evil. That company that just got access to everything, and everybody got an Apple device, and when they want to just flip the button, boop, they're just gonna kill us all. That's what I feel.
Like that movie Secret Service, Kingsman.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that one, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can never finish that movie. It's a great movie though.
It is.
Samuel
But
Jackson.
it really is, it shows you like how people, because even Oprah, I hate using her name, but she was like, she did something, she forged some kind of relationship with Apple.
Mm-hmm.
To have like a podcast or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason she did it was she said because everybody's got a phone.
Yeah, everybody's got a phone.
Everybody got an Apple.
Everybody,
so
yeah.
She did it with Apple because those are, I guess, the most
Popular
popular
phones.
phones.
Yeah.
And so she did it with them because everybody's got a phone.
It's a way to reach out and touch the masses.
Yeah.
Shira.
Well, what about, I wasn't necessarily saying about Apple, but what about like certain medical procedures or even vehicles or even like the old phone? Like, is that inspiration of the Most High or is that inspiration of...
Well, remember, there's nothing new under the sun. So there's no medical procedure that they do now that has never been done. We didn't have Bentleys and Rolls Royces back in Moses' time, but we had transportation. We didn't have phones, but we had means of communication. So there's nothing new. Now, again, they use the technology. They use the so-called I'm smarter than you because I'm educating you, or we invented this as a tool to what?
Keep you enslaved.
To keep us down. Because I'm the inventor, I'm the educator, so you have to look towards me for everything. Listen, when it says that you're going to serve your enemies in hunger and thirst and in the one of all thing, I'm going to get you sick, and I got the cure.
Yep.
But don't we have the cure? We have the cure. The Most High gave us the cure, the word, the wisdom, and using the things that He put on the earth to cure us. But I'm going to get you sick, right? I'm going to give you the disease, and then I'm going to give you the pills or the medication because only I have it. That's how they use all these different things to their advantage, where somebody said it, it's a gift and it's a curse. It's a curse for us and it's a gift for them because we have to think about it. If a black man came out with a phone right now, who's going to try to go use that? Nobody. Because we all want the white man's Apple and Android. We want Chinese man's Android, right? We don't want oh, Muhammad's, you know what I'm saying, black phone. We don't want that.
That's that Soldier Boy. He made a video game and everybody.
Yeah, nobody wanted Soldier Boy's video game, but everybody wants a PS4, Xbox 2, Xbox One. Soldier Boy got a video game too, but he's a black man. He's supposedly not educated. So why can he make a video? How can he get a video game? How can he have something that the white man can have? Because they beat us down so long and put us under their foot, and that's the curse. We got to serve them. So they put us down, they go above, and then we look at them like, okay, we can only go to them. That's the whole. That's the whole point of this class, is to show we go to them for the education. Why? Well, we're scared to educate ourselves, and we don't even know what education is. That's the thing. We think that education is sitting in a dormitorium where some white man just lectures you about things that you'll never, ever, 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 ever need. I sat in college and I'm like, what the hell am I here for? I thought I was actually doing something with life. Like, yeah, I'm in college, B. Yeah. And I go there and I go from campus to campus and take this class and take this class and go broke. And I'm like, okay, I never used that. I never needed to know that. The things you learn in school, man, you could just hop on Netflix now or YouTube now, right? Yep. If I want to be a surgeon, I can literally jump on YouTube and learn how to do surgery. Mechanic? Yeah. Well, you want to fix your car? Shit. Then you hop on YouTube. YouTube fixing your car for dummies.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you say that. I remember I had this little handheld video game, the PSP. I went on YouTube, and YouTube showed me literally how to get inside the PSP, and I literally rearranged the whole PSP where it looked like, just from like all the software and watching online on YouTube how they did it. I learned how to make the PSP look like an Apple phone. I learned how to do so much with it because I hacked into it. I never had to buy a game. Never had to buy a movie for it because I hacked into it. I was doing stuff where I cut open the PSP battery and cut open this particular line and did something because it accessed a whole nother program, put it all in there. But things like that, they don't teach us. You'll learn something like that in college, but you can learn it online.
But even something like that is useless.
It's useless.
It's video games. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
That's the point. It's like they want to educate you into things that are useless. Now, go to 2 Maccabees 6. Just to prove that we educated our own. We were educated people. We educated our own children. Right? Go to 2 Maccabees 6:23.
2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 23. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age,
right,
and the excellency of his ancient years,
go ahead,
and the honor of his great head,
read,
whereunto he was come.
Go ahead.
And his most honest education from a child.
His most what?
His most honest education from a child.
See, we had honest education from our upbringing. Go ahead.
Or rather, the holy law.
The what?
The holy law.
Wait, what were we educated in?
The holy law.
Go ahead.
Made and given by the Most High.
Right, go ahead.
Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave.
Right, this was speaking of let's see here. This was talking about, I believe this was, let me see here. Yeah, this is Eleazar. This was Eleazar, one of the chief scribes, man. They were trying to, like how they did all the great men of Israel, when the white man went into Israel and went into Jerusalem and sacked the city, they tried to get him to eat swine's flesh. And at one time he considered, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. But then he came back and said, let me go back to my education. Let me go back to the law. Right? Go to Maccabees, 2 Maccabees 7:27.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 27. But she, bowing herself toward him.
Right now, so this is another instance. Remember the woman with the 7 sons? They were trying to make them eat pork, and they all was like, no. They was getting cut in half and tongues cut out. Go ahead.
Laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn.
Go ahead.
Spake in her country language on this manner.
Read.
O my son, have pity upon me, that bare thee 9 months in my womb.
Right, go
and
ahead.
gave thee 3 years.
Read.
And nourished thee. And brought thee up in this unto this age.
Read.
And endured the troubles of education.
And the troubles of what?
Education.
Yeah, we educated our own children, man. She didn't say anything here with the troubles of daycare. The troubles of getting you ready for boarding school or high school. We educated our own children. But what was it in? When you go into the Josephus, it's damn, I didn't bring my Josephus. But when you go into the Josephus, it tells you that we nourished up our children in the law before anything. It was the law. Right? It was when it was talking about the customs of the birthdays. It said that birthdays, we didn't bring them up in the custom of birthdays, but we brought them up in the custom of the law from their infancy, so that they could replicate the things that they were hearing. So our education was the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. But now you got to see when you throw your child to the wolves, I call it, because that's what it is. And a lot of times, man, we know that it's by default. It's this cycle of I gotta go to work, nobody's there to watch them, so I gotta give them to school. But it's a cycle of slavery. You gotta go work for the white man, right? You got a bunch of kids, but they gotta go somewhere. Well, school is free. They're gonna watch them. They're gonna educate them, feed them, clothe them. They're gonna come home, and what are they gonna want? They're gonna want that American dream, because that's what they're telling them. Go to school, get a good education, get a good job, make lots of money, and then tell your kids to repeat it. Go to Isaiah 30. Go to Isaiah 30 and verse 1. We always got to remember that we educated our own.
Isaiah.
We can still do it. We can still do it, but you have to take the time, again, to root out and break down all those imaginations that the educational system puts in their head. The dreams of being an R&B chick, the dreams of being just a football player, a basketball, it's like if a kid is a certain size, he's automatically a linebacker. He can't be nothing else. He can't be nothing. It has to be physical, right? Well, he's big, so he got to be a football player. He's tall, so he got to play ball. Why he can't just be a tall kid? That's smart. Why he can't be a tall priest? Go ahead, read on.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1.
Right?
Woe to the rebellious children.
Right, because this is what happens, man, where we built up so much years of trusting our enemies and relying on them for our education, we start to get rebellious against the Most High. But he said destruction to the rebellious children. Read.
Said the Most High.
Come on.
That take counsel.
We do what?
Take counsel.
We take counsel, we take education, we take schooling. Go ahead.
But not of me.
But it ain't from the Most High. Because we want Harvard to teach us. We want Princeton. We want Yale. We want Hampton University. I'm going to a black college. Who gives a damn? It's just a bunch of faggots down there anyway. All them black colleges is filled with nothing but homos. Homos, lesbians, and sellouts, man. In the white colleges, if a black man's there, he's definitely a coon. Trying to be like a white boy. He's doing his best Carlton impression. Doing his best Carlton. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with dressing nice and having a little bit of money, but when you start going too far here and looking at your people a certain way because they can't do it, or treating people a certain way because you go to an all-black school, there's something wrong. Go ahead.
And that cover with a covering.
Right?
But not of my spirit.
Right, because that's what happens. The covering now becomes the covering of this education. I'm smart. But is that what the Most High wanted? No. Read on.
That they may add sin to sin.
Because that's all it ends up doing. We start adding sin unto sin. You start pushing your children in the wrong direction. Well, daddy went to Harvard, so you got to go to Harvard. And then now it becomes a generation of Harvard grads or Harvard flunkies. I don't know, depending on which way you go. Go ahead.
That walk to go down into Egypt.
That do what?
that walk to go down into
Ain't
Egypt.
that what is? Isn't that what it is? You walk to go down to your slavery, to your bondage. Go ahead.
And have not asked at my mouth.
That's not where the Most High was sending us, man. He said, don't do anything to go back to Egypt. Go ahead.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
Right now, that's what our people think they're doing. I'm strengthening myself in what America wants. But is that real strength?
Nah.
All America really doing, he said it earlier, they're strengthening you to be a better slave. They're strengthening you for their workforce. Come on, man. What pimp strengthens the hoe to be a pimp? Or do he strengthen the hoe to be a better hoe? Yeah. Ain't no pimp like, come here, girl, let me show you how to be a pimp. He like, listen, you need to flip that, twerk that, flip that, so you can get more money. But you ain't gonna take my position. America pimps our people. America's a pimp, and we the hoes. At the end of the day, because we're the ones giving our spirit to them for their society. When you go to get you an education, right, and you drop out of school or you don't graduate, what happens? You automatically stuck with what? Before they even educate you, what they give you? When you go to college, what they give you before you set foot in a classroom?
Diploma?
No, they give you some debt. They stick you with $200,000 debt minimum, depending on where you're going, right? Before you even open a textbook, they're like, here's this $200,000 debt. Yep. So you're already indebted to them regardless if you graduate or not. Y'all ever think about that? Like, here's this debt that I'm going to give you. What sense does that make?
Keeps you locked into that.
It keeps you locked in.
Enslaved to that. Not only it's a perpetuation of the vicious enslavement cycle.
Yeah.
I gotta stay in school so I can keep getting this whatever they give you, the grant money or the stipend, but then you got all this debt after you get your diploma or your certificate or whatever it is, and then you gotta work because you gotta pay that loan back. Because if you don't, then
it's a vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle.
What verse you at?
Verse 2, last precept.
Go ahead.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Go ahead, read verse 3.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame?
Yeah, the strength of Pharaoh, man, this so-called education, this so-called higher learning. This is where people get shamed. Because when you get it, you're like, wait a minute, I didn't need that to move around in this country. I didn't have to go get this so-called higher Pharaoh education to get a good job. Because, well, that's all they want you to do is get a good job. Read on. Watch. Read on.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
And that's why our people are so confused. It's like, wait a minute, I went to school. They told me, my mama and them told me, if I went to school for 4 years, I was going to get a job. How come I'm flipping McDonald's fries? How come I'm salting fries at McDonald's and I got a master's in sociology or psychology or environmental science?
The majority of us go for psychology.
Yeah, I got a master's in nursing, right? That's all our people want to do is be nursing, and psychology and criminal justice. Those are scams, some of them. That whole criminal, like go to school for criminal justice, that thing's a scam, man. Our people never graduate through that. They're lazy. That whole, you could get your associates in criminal justice in 6 months. Come on, man. Our people, they don't have the capacity. You barely got through high school. You ain't gonna sit there through no college, man, to get that education, to get that associates. They just got you for them pockets.
Even in that new Joker movie, Joker's psychiatrist is a Morena, and then once they stopped the funding of it, everybody that got let go, including the one with the degree.
Yeah, because that paper don't mean nothing. Read verse 5.
Con. Verse 5. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them.
Yeah, because now you get upset. Egypt can't profit you. They never can, they never would. All they wanted to do was build you into a better slave. They couldn't profit you, but we profit them. Go ahead.
Nor nor be a help, nor profit.
Read.
But a shame.
Read.
And also a reproach.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. For the Egyptians shall help in vain.
Wait, the education is what?
For the Egyptians shall help in vain.
It's vanity, man. It's vain. Yeah, come and get this education. Come and take this. Be a part of this frat. Can I saw what is college about? Joining some frat. Drinking, smoking, partying, and sex. What else?
Experimenting.
And yeah, you're experimenting with your sexuality. I ain't do none of that. I do my sexuality. But ain't that what you watch all the college shows, and it's about it's like there's more rapes in college than any place, right? Because there's all this drinking and partying. Chick goes to a frat house, the whole frat house runs through her. Now she's just used property, and then she want to go get married and give herself to a good man years later. She's been used up in college. Go ahead, read on.
And to no purpose.
Right?
Therefore have I cried concerning this.
Right?
Their strength is to sit still.
Right, so 12 years of school, man. Think about it. Math. How come, ask yourself this. What does America run on when it comes to mathematics truly? What do they run? What does America run on? What do you need to have in America to make it in this society, math-wise? What do they score? Your credit. How come they never teach you about credit in school? How come they don't have 12 years of financing class? That's the number one thing in America that you need.
They don't even give you like programs, like as a child, that can start building your credit while you're in school.
That's my point. That's my point. You got to find loopholes. But they don't teach you, this is how you establish, this is how you keep, this is how you get, this is how you maintain. Oh, you're 18, you got a 600 credit score. So in order to get credit, you got to apply for credit. That hurts the credit. So we got to give you some BS card with a high interest rate that you can barely pay off. But if you got a little bit of money, you'll be able to handle it, and you'll get your credit score up after a few years. But we're gonna give you just enough money for you to feel like you're rich. You blow through the credit cards. You don't got a good enough job to pay them back. We give you a car loan. You don't have a good enough job to pay that back. You're young and inexperienced. What do most of us do with credit when we first get it? You rip right through that thing. You rip right, or it's already ripped through because your parents put the light bill in your name when you was 5, because their credit was trash. They put the cable bill, the Comcast, right? They put the finger hut. Like finger hut? How I got finger hut in my name? That PlayStation, right? That blender, that microwave back in the day. Hey.
That we don't even have anymore.
Yeah, the microwave broke down, but somebody got to pay for that. Oh, we ain't gonna pay for that. We ain't got the microwave no more. But it's real. That's the black man's plight. It's like you need credit in America, but how come in math they don't sit you down and say, here's a financing class, here's a 4-year financing class, but they give you what? Algebra. They give you calculus, pre-calculus, algebra 2 trig. They give you what else? Geometry, right? The geometry you kind of need to have. You got to know the area of certain things. If you want to paint your walls, you got to know surface area, right? If you want to tile your floor, you got to know surface area. How many tiles to get?
Is that like a square feet?
You can Google it now. But back in the day, there was no Google. But yeah, square footage. Yeah.
So yeah, you
gotta know square footage. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's basic math. If you can't do square foot, there's something wrong. I can still calculate square foot of something.
But people still don't look at that nowadays. That's not the first thing that comes to their mind. Oh, the square root of this wall. We don't think about that.
No,
That's
we
the
don't.
last thing that comes to our mind.
That's the last thing that comes to your mind is, how do I keep my credit on point? Nobody's thinking about that. Nobody's thinking that, wait a minute, America is running off of this credit system. How come they don't educate you about it? Does it make, really think about it. The only way that Naomi's going to get good credit by the time she hits 18 is if I put her name on a credit card that I have and I keep it up. And she'll have credit by the time she'll have established credit by the time she's 18. Where she ain't got to do the whole catch-22. You need credit to get credit, but you have no credit, so we can't give you no credit. Ain't that how they do it?
Exactly.
year of college.
Right.
I was 17, 18, whichever I was, and I got a credit card.
Why though?
I didn't know any better.
Why? No, but why were you able to get a credit card?
I don't know. All I know
No, I'm gonna
is
tell
I
you
got
why.
an account. I got a.
No, let me tell you why. No, I'm gonna tell you why. You know why you got a credit card? Because they slapped you with that fat loan. Yeah.
Or it's a big interest rate.
They slapped. Listen. Think about it. You can't. Before you go to college, when you hit 18, they'll approve you for a $200,000 loan,
Right.
but they will not approve you for no $23,000 car. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Why would they give you a $200,000 loan, but they won't give you a car for 15 grand? You ever thought about that? See, nobody thinks about these things. I remember when I was 18 and I went to go get me a car, brand new car. They would not approve me, but I went and sat up in there, and Sally Mae was like, "Oh hell yeah, we'll give you some money.
You know it's funny.
Hell yeah, we'll put you 7, 8, 9, 12 grand in debt."
They said no credit was bad credit.
The government, because Sally Mae is government ran. You got to pay that back regardless. That goes nowhere. You can't bankrupt that. You could bankrupt a car and 7 years later it falls off, credit score go up. Sally Mae, oh no, you got to pay her.
You know it's funny. It's funny you're saying this
You
because
got to think about it.
my rib, just putting her business out there. Sorry, but anyways, my rib, when she graduated high school, her and her friends they would go to like these different like check cash places and take out these little $500 and $700 loans and never pay them back.
Right.
So like to this day, she got like 2 or maybe 3 of those that's still on her credit.
Yeah, they don't know it.
But you know, when you young like that and you in high school and you finna graduate, you like $500-$700. What? I can just get that, pay it back later. And you like, and your friends is telling you, nah, I don't gotta do it. Your friends is like, nah, I ain't never gonna pay. I'm just keep it. You're not thinking about the credit. You're not thinking about the long term.
Because you weren't educated to think about something that you need in a country that runs off of it. This country runs off of credit.
Oh.
Why would they not educate their people? Well, they do. They don't educate niggas. That's the thing.
One more.
They don't educate black people on credit. They'll educate white boys. They'll tell them how to get it, how to keep you in debt, how to go own a bank, when to get the money, when they report. They teach them. They teach them that. They don't teach us. They ain't teaching finance in the hood.
Yeah. You know another thing that my cousin started doing, he was doing this through an Arab. So what the Arab taught him was, the Arab owned like an actual phone store, right? So what the Arab taught him was telling my cousin to do was go out there, find you people that want to make like a quick like $500, and what he'll have them do is he'll have them go to like a T-Mobile or a Sprint, just whatever phone company, and take out 2 iPhones with his credit, using your credit. So you'll take out these 2 iPhones. The Arab will pay you $500 for the phones, which he takes and he makes an iPhone selling iPhone 11 is how much? Like 1,000. So he takes it and he sells it and he gets the money, but he just gives you the 500. But you
Get stuck with the damn debt.
you got stuck with the credit, with the 2 phones on your credit.
Yeah, the monthly payment on
and all
your
that.
credit. So you got $2,200 plus the bill. Niggas is dumb. But my point is this: they're not teaching you the things that you need to maneuver in this society. Credit is the #1 thing you need. Listen, if you ain't got credit, they ain't taking cash. If you ain't got the cash to pay it off, you have to have credit. Again, how come you can get a $200,000 loan at 18, but you can't get a car without having a cosigner? You got to think about that. Another one, health, right? Health. Now, America is one of the most obese countries in the world. Why are they not educating the children on keeping their health, eating properly, right? And some places do it, but farming and alternative foods. How come they don't do that? How come they don't have a farming program in every school? Y'all ever ask yourself, how come they don't when they have health class, it's not a class geared towards don't eat this, eat this.
I took some child education classes, and there's this new disease going around for the children these days, and it's that they can't stop eating, and they call it a disease, and the white folks will like lock up their fridges and everything to stop their kids from eating.
Yeah, it's called high fructose corn syrup. That's what it is. They put it in, because the point is They're not going to teach you about health because, again, if I can get you sick and then cure you, you got to keep coming to me. You got to keep paying me. I'm going to pay you to get me sick. We pay the white man to get us sick, and then we pay him to fix us. Come on, man. Y'all got to think about it.
Yeah, part of it is they want you hooked on that fast food and these
Yeah.
restaurants out there.
Yeah. They want you hooked on Big Macs. Some rapper was talking about, he said, man, our generation was raised on Big Macs, and he said Big Macs and Gatorade or something. It was crazy, but it was real. I remember back in my day, man, you get a double Whopper for $1. They had like buy one, get one. I'm like, a double Whopper? Now I think about a double Whopper. Back then they were a little bit bigger and they're a little bit tastier, right? When you go to Big Burger King with $2 and get 2 double Whoppers, come on now. Come on now. Well, who knows what we was eating? Who knows? But it wasn't real food. It wasn't nothing that was nutritious. Because again, how come the parts of a salad that are on the burger you can get for $1, but you can't get the salad for $1? You got to pay $5, $6, $8, $9, $10 for a good salad, right? Then it don't even fill you up. You got to eat more. But how come they don't teach these things in their educational system? How come you have to go after you get educated and learn these things? Like right now, y'all all been educated. Y'all all went to at least high school, right?
God.
But how come you got to be re-educated on your history? We weren't taught it. That's the point, where the school system is not built to teach you nothing, but one thing, it's built to put you in this setting. You go to school from what? 7 to 3, right? You get a little recess, 30 minutes, they run around, right? You get lunch. You go to work from what? About 7 to 3, 7 to 4. Get your little 30-minute break, stretch your legs, right? You get your little 15s. You sit at your little cubicle, right? Don't move from that cubicle. We're gonna write you up. Where's your hall pass? We're gonna write you up. It's all parallel. You're gonna see that it's all a parallel school into this work environment. It parallels each other. How come they don't teach you how to do and start your own business in college? Why is college always about get this paper so you can go work for a company? How come it's not get this paper so you can start your own company?
I was gonna say, how come they really want to help us? How come they don't want to put y'all, the Hebrew Israelites, in their schooling system to help us?
Well, because it's not about helping us. It's about helping them. It's not about preserving Israel. It's about spoiling us in a way where we're not so spoiled that we can't be a benefit to this society. Come on, man. We got every job in this kingdom. From the bottom of the totem pole to the damn near top. Right? That's prophecy. It said we would be the neck of our enemies. So we got, as blacks and Hispanics, good jobs. Some of us got really good jobs. But for the most part, we got the crappy jobs, right? The maintenance man that if he don't change the light bulb, nobody gonna change it. If he don't mop up the vomit, it's just gonna sit there. The trash can, if Issachar don't dump your trash, your whole block is gonna sink. Because the white man ain't getting out there and picking up no trash, mowing no lawns, cleaning no walls, washing windows. He's not doing any of that. So, working fast food. So imagine if we stopped. Imagine if we said, we just about to go on a break, everybody, for one day.
America would fall.
In one day, this country would collapse. If we just stopped buying gas for one day, this country would just implode. 2-3 days, oh my God, come on, they'd be rioting. A week.
They would give us
They would have to, because we're the economical system. They know how to keep us in these low enough level jobs to where you got to keep going back to work to get the money. You got to just keep going back. Like, damn, I got to go back because I got to pay this bill and get these shoes and get this gas. But you make enough just to be able to pay back out to them to keep the economy going. You got to see what they're breeding. They got the perfect assembly line of slaves.
I was going to say, back in Deuteronomy 28:48, it
right?
says that you was going to serve your enemies in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So that yoke of iron was going to be on our necks until he had destroyed you. So our people were destroyed mentally. We ain't going to do nothing, so we don't need that iron on our neck no more. We don't need it. We're already that horse that's broken, that dog that ain't going to bite nobody. We ain't going to do nothing. That's why they can treat us the way they treat us. That's why they can have us in these low jobs and do us wrong throughout these years and for damn near forever. And we won't do anything because mentally,
because we need them.
We're destroyed.
Because we need them. They programmed us to need them in a way where we'll give you just enough. We'll give you just enough to hate your life, but just enough to have to keep coming back. Yep. To fulfill some fictitious dream. To keep you chasing the white picket fence. Like, man, next year I'm gonna give me a house. The year after, man, I'm gonna give me a dog. And all the things that they have, and they can get it all in 1 year. They get it all in one paycheck. We struggle because we feel like we need them. But they've programmed us to think that we need them from the age of 3 years old, from kindergarten. I'm your teacher. I'm gonna tell you what to do. You sit there. If you talk back, you're gonna sit in the corner. You're gonna be in timeout, right? You're gonna sit in the corner right here. What they call it in school? When they put them in the corner, the timeout area. I don't know.
They make you wear the gun tag.
Damn, I don't remember that.
They still give those paddles.
I caught a few of those back in the day. Woo! Oh yeah, I didn't like that. Go to history, man. Another one, history. Check this out. Health, teenage obesity. How come they're not teaching the kids how to cook from scratch? Some of us don't even know how to cook. We 40, 50 years old and don't even know how to cook. Even when I remember I used to have cooking class back in the day. They was teaching us how to make cornbread and bake cakes and things like that, but nothing healthy.
Yeah, in our psychology class, our professor was telling us that they don't even teach us how to properly read the labels to understand, because we use the imperial system and this is the metric system. So when we look at it, it doesn't mean anything to us, so we're like, okay, let me just drink
grams. What's
that?
Grams, right? Grams, and because we didn't understand weights and measures. But see, in the law, we understood weights and measures. We understood balance. We understood measurement. When the Most High told Moses, Noah, you're gonna build an ark and it's gonna be this many cubits. Noah wasn't like, huh? The hell are cubits? The hell is that? When he said, look, you're gonna get this type of wood, he was like, what's that wood? Noah was an educated man. He knew the difference between wood, this tree, and that tree. He knew how to measure things according to the measure. We had to do the shekels were weighted. It said according to the weight of the sanctuary, right? So we understood weights, we understood measure, but we got all of that through the law. Where she's right. Imperial system, you got one weight. The British talk even I got one, miles and kilometers, right? Ain't that confusing? It's like, wait a minute, what's a kilometer? Then you got to get on your phone and what's 1 kilometer to a mile? And it's 1.5 miles, okay? And things like that, man, where they confuse you with these different weights, these different measurements. America, they use miles. Overseas, right? They use kilometers. Is it kilometers? Yeah. All these different things that, again, how does it help us? It keeps us here. If you don't know what a kilometer is or how to measure it, somebody that comes along and can do it, you're gonna feel stupid. Like, damn, you know how to do that? Or even Fahrenheit and Celsius. Who knows how to measure that? Like when somebody comes to you and says, man, it's 32 out. It's hot. And you're like, 32? Nigga, what are you talking about? 32 equals like 90 in Fahrenheit.
No, that's in Celsius.
32 Celsius is like 90 Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When somebody says it's 32 out,
yes,
you're like, what? It's not. They're like, yeah, it's hot outside. It's 32. You're like, nah, bro, it's freezing. Yeah, 32 Celsius is up there. But they don't teach us how to convert that.
It's like even like measuring like in meters. And
Right.
like, when you go to like all these other countries, believe it or not, the speed limit is not mph.
It's kg.
It's kg.
Yeah.
So you'll be driving outside another country and you going 120 and you like you look
but you're really doing
think,
180.
you like 120. You like, are we really going 120? No, it's more.
Yeah, it's more in the
so,
kilometers.
So you'll be going 120 in the kilometers and you'll be like, damn, we're going fast, but nah, you're actually going like 80 or 70. But in America, you're taught just one way. Where when you go to these other places, they might not measure off of feet. They might measure off a meter or by yards. Because I think everywhere else they measure by meters, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like if you
yeah, meters. Yeah.
They measure by meters.
We do inches and feet. Right.
America want to be the total opposite of everybody else. In America, you drive on the right side, everybody else drive on the left. Everybody else drives on the left. In America, it's miles per hour. Everywhere else, it's kilometers. Kilometers. America, it's feet and inches. Everywhere else, it's probably meters.
America is Fahrenheit. Everywhere else is Celsius.
Everywhere else is Celsius.
Anyway, let's go to 1 Maccabees 1. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1. So we really gotta look at it. History. You gotta relearn your history after college, after high school. You gotta relearn language after like how come they don't teach you languages that matter?
Yeah.
Right? What's Benaiah learning? Mandarin?
Yeah.
When is he gonna use Mandarin? unless he becomes a translator for that language.
Well, they say it's for business because that's who we do business with.
Yeah, or unless he becomes a businessman, right? Or the CIA, right? Where you gotta know that. But I mean,
You can make good money being trilingual.
no, you can. You be a translator. That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I want to learn Mandarin. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go translate in the courthouse somewhere, or if I'm gonna be doing business with the Chinese. But the majority of our people, are they thinking that? They're like, I gotta learn this whack language. I barely can understand English because it got so many consonants and verbs and adverbs and nouns and pronouns and past tense, future tense, forward tense, after tense, A after C except before E, right? A, E, I, O, like, come on, man.
Our people don't even, to show you how retarded English is, our people don't even understand the 3 different wheres.
Where, and where, bear, and bear, 2, and 2.
Yeah, it's like
Your, right?
Your
And your. They don't understand that.
Yep.
That's why they got ebonics. They just put you. for you. That's why they made up a whole language for us and say, hey, y'all niggas just deal with ebonics.
Nah, we made that up.
God.
Right? All the little everything now is an emoji. We ain't gotta spell a damn thing. You can put a whole sentence in emojis and we'll get it. We'll understand it. But did you need college for that? LOLs, man. LOLs and FMLs and
RFOL.
RFOL and LMFAO, and that was us. FML, that was us, man. Creating our language off of text. I mean, come on, even language, history.
You know what I was gonna say about the language too?
Science. We went through the whole science thing, right?
Yeah.
Why did they lie to you about science? Well, Thahawam talked about it earlier, because if I can lie to you and paint this picture that I explored something that you will never ever see, what does that make me to you? I'm the God. That's all it really is. I can educate you and give you the power to feel educated or give you the power to get this paper, so I gotta be better than you, right? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, when it pertains to the languages, one thing that they should have taught all of us, the language they should have taught all of us is a sign language, because you have when you go to school and you see a lot of these deaf kids, kids that are hard of hearing, they completely separate them, and they only communicate with people that know how to communicate with them. And you got this whole school full of kids and they can't communicate with them. So from the jump, they're just separated. You know what I'm saying? From the actual society with kids. So why not teach little kids from the jump sign language? From elementary, you know, from kindergarten to elementary to the time you come up. That way, yeah, they still might be in a school, in a separate class, but they don't have to feel like, damn, I can't communicate with this person. They can't walk down the street and just be like, I can't communicate with literally nobody right now, unless I got a hearing aid.
Think about this, and Tasapah just hit me, he just put a thought in my head. When Joseph and when Abraham went and dealt with the Egyptians, there was a famine, right? What did Joseph taught the Egyptians, and so did Abraham, he taught them math.
Yeah.
Didn't he teach them math according to what they were going to need to live? On how to store up, right? Yeah. He didn't give them algebra 2 trigonometry and was like, well, yeah, famine is coming, but here goes this calculus. How was the calculus going to help them? He said, okay, wait a minute, a famine's coming. This is how much you need to store up for the 7 years to get through the famine. The same thing with Jacob, right? Or Joseph, excuse me. Joseph didn't come and was like, oh yeah, here goes, what is it, physics? Here goes physics.
Conceptual physics.
Yeah, conceptual physics. Or here goes pre-calculus, but y'all need to learn how to live through a famine. That's what they do to us, though. You gotta learn how to live in America that needs credit. You need basic mathematics, like how to count money, right? Some kids don't even know how to count money. You gotta know how to count money. You gotta know how to get your change back, right? But they don't teach these things.
How to balance your account. They don't teach that, like how to manage your finances.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. They don't teach you how to balance a checkbook. I had to learn that the hard way. When it was in the damn negatives, I'm like, whoa.
I still don't know how to do that.
You know how to balance a checkbook? It's very easy. It's just subtraction and addition. So if you got $100 in the bank, you spend 50. You got 100. Right under it, you put 50 minus. Now you got 50.
I mean, that's normal.
Balancing your checkbook.
Oh, that's normal.
Then
I thought it was like something.
Then if you deposit money, 300, you write 300 plus 50, 350. It's that simple. It's basic. There's no multiplication. It's just adding and subtraction.
I didn't know.
Or even just basic, like I bring in this much money. My bills are this much money. Learning
gross income and net.
Yeah.
Who knew what the hell gross income was when you got your first job? I was working at 16. I didn't know what the hell. I was like, why is this more than this? And why are they taking so much for tax? What is tax? What is Social Security? These niggas is robbing me. That's how I felt. Like, yo, nobody taught me about these things, but you just gonna take money? It's these things that we gotta be educated on and understand. Like you said, finance. Math should be all about living expenses. I got this much money. I gotta feed this amount of people. How do I do it?
Yep.
And not go over my budget. Yep. You gotta learn that the hard way when you walk up to the register. And you gotta put everything back. Cause you ain't got enough. You're like, damn, my account. Where my account is set up. I gotta put this back and do this. And but they don't teach us. These things are essential, man.
Yeah.
It's very, very essential. Like even trades. Think about it. They took all the trades out of schools, right? Plumbing, heating and air, AC, mechanic.
Oh, man.
Nursing, yeah, because you could do nursing in high school. You didn't have to pay to go to be no nurse. Now, you can't even go to, there's no plumbing college. You gotta go find you a dude that's a plumber and say, hey, I wanna learn from you. Now you're a journeyman. And you gotta put in a certain amount of hours before you could even be considered.
Yeah.
But well, before, we used to live off of that stuff, man, being plumbers, electricians, and AC, and what is it? HVAC, right? And just basic carpentry. We lived off of that. Where's woodshop at?
Oh.
You know. What's funny is I remember when I graduated high school and I actually started experiencing life. And my car broke down, and I had a friend that he was like, when my car was breaking down, he was driving, he was riding with me. He was like, oh, bro, I know why your car is doing that. You need an oil change. And I was like, I need an oil change.
Like, what's that? Yeah, it's an oil change.
I need an oil change? Damn, it's $500, right? No, it wasn't. But I go and I get the oil change, and my car starts running better. And I'm like, damn. So I was like, bro, how did you know that I need an oil change? He was like, well, in high school, I took mechanic. And I learned a little bit. So when your car is doing this, when it was jumpy, it was saying that you needed an oil change. So I was like, damn. And I just started thinking like, damn, I went to high school and I played football, I played baseball, and they ain't teach me nothing.
You played games and didn't learn no life skills.
Yeah, so like all my friends because we did have carpentry, we did have wood shop, and we did have mechanic. Those, and then we had welding. Those are the three. But I just think about it like, damn, like all these guys, they push
football,
the Israelites, the black and Latinos.
Sports.
Go play soccer. Go play football.
Run track.
Go run track.
Be a porch monkey. Run around.
Go play basketball. Go do that.
And all the white boys took welding, and look at them.
And
they got their own welding companies making $300,000 a year.
Yeah. And even like the technology classes, those are Asians and Edomites and Elams and Ishmael.
And if you sat there, it was like, oh, you're whack as hell because you're sitting here with the nerds.
Yeah.
You whack as hell because you're in front of a computer. Now everybody's in front of a computer.
Yep.
Like, damn.
It's like
I wish I could start my own business.
Yeah, man.
I wish I could. Like, come on, man. Think about how many of our parents can't even send a text. Because if they would have sat in computer class, they'd have been looked at wrong. It was better for them to go be a dancer, football player,
be in band,
yeah, like, or just not be there at all.
Yeah.
But the white man sat up in computers. Now he's inventing all the video games that keep your kids trapped. He invented all the programs and apps you trying to download, making $30,000 an app.
It's funny, man. In high school, when you were a black and Latino man or woman, if you're a lady, you had track class, or you had band, or you had dancing, or you had theater.
See, I was right.
But if you were a male, you had basketball, football, baseball, and same thing for the ladies. They'll have their softball and their basketball, but that's what we did. But when you look at the other nations, they were in technology classes. They were the ones that were tutoring us after high school. Oh man, I can't go to practice. I gotta go to tutorial so I can play in the game this week.
But who was tutoring you?
It was them. They were tutoring us. Those were kids that were tutoring us.
That's my point.
They have us in school training to be coons.
And the ones that are tutoring you, those are your bosses now. Those are the ones that rule over you, and you got to go show up to work for them, and they train you.
Come on, man. Y'all seen that video of that one court lady? She was the judge.
Right.
And this guy came up to her. She was an Edomite, and the guy was a Judite. And he comes up to her, and she's like, Jerome? And then he's like, oh, crap. And she was like, I went to school with you. I remember you were one of the popular kids. Everybody loved you. You were on prom cake. He's sitting there crying his tail off. And then she's like, well, here's your sentence. You're going to do this couple years in jail. But I hope when you get out, I hope you learn and I hope you prosper when you get out. But that's our people.
So,
yeah, man.
Proverbs 3 and verse 31 real quick. Proverbs 3:31, let's get to a few more of these. Jeremiah 2:14. So, you do the 12 years of school. They train you to be a servant. First, the 12 years of school is to train you in the mind of 4 more years of college, depending on what profession you want to be. Right? You gotta go to college. That's the only way you're gonna make it. Before you even sit inside of a college classroom, before you even tour the campus, here's this $200,000 debt. So that automatically makes you their slave, whether you graduate or not. You're automatically a slave because in your head you automatically have to get a job to pay this off, right? So it'll be in your best interest to do what? Get a job in your field, right? That you go to school for 4 years and sacrifice and slave. But how many people really get a job in their field? And then when you do get that job, how many layoffs were they doing with people that had college education because they were too overqualified? You see that? So does that wipe away the debt?
Nope.
Does that take away the fact that you got to pay these people back? Sally Mae want her money. Proverbs 3:31.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31.
Uh-huh.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
And this is the problem, man. We envy our oppressors. We want to be just like them. We want to get into everything that they're into, whether it's good for us or not. Go ahead.
And choose none of his ways.
And his ways should not be our ways. Our oppressors' ways are not the ways of the Most High. The scriptures in Ecclesiastes 12:10 says, trust not your enemy. We trust our enemies too much, man. It says, trust not thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You can't trust the enemy to educate you or to bring anything good to you. Right? From there, go to Jeremiah 2:14. So now that you're in the mind state that I gotta go work for someone, because college doesn't promote independence. Y'all know that, right? What is college? Go and be a part of a frat, a fraternity, or a sorority, or pledge. You gotta pledge to something else. Pledge Greek, the Alpha, Theta, Beta, Sigma, right? You gotta pledge. You gotta join up with what they want. What are you becoming? What are they always constantly pushing? Be in servitude. Jeremiah 2:14.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14.
Go ahead.
Is Israel a servant?
Hell yeah. Yes, he is. Because he definitely ain't free. You ain't walking on that campus like, oh, freedom. You're like, man, who can I join up with? Who can I be like? Who do I pledge allegiance to?
Yeah.
That's always Israel, man. Like, who can I just, instead of being myself and being what the Most High wanted me to be, who do I conform to? That's always the thought. It's so subliminal now. It's been so much programmed into us. That's what it is. Who do I conform to? Yeah. Jeremiah 2:14.
But at that moment, you don't know yourself.
But that's my point. Because
right.
That's my point. Because from the kindergarten to 12th grade, they've been telling you who you are. Right. You're a slave. You're a slave. Sit in this classroom for 8 hours. Eat lunch at this time. Recess at this time. You can't go down the hall without a pass. Right. You got to do things. You can't move until that bell rings. Right. You're being programmed the whole time.
And if you don't go to school, your parents can go to jail.
If you don't go to school, if you don't show up, guess what? Your parents going to suffer the consequences. Truancy court. Yep. Jeremiah 2:14. Read it again.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Is Israel a servant?
Go ahead.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Yeah, some of our people are homeborn slaves, man. Proud. Go ahead.
Why is he spoiled?
Well, he's spoiled because we were given into the hands of the spoilers.
God.
We were given into the hands of the people that were going to spoil us. Remember, it said it's the yoke of iron until we were destroyed. But that destruction is not to totally wipe us out physically. It was to wipe our minds mentally so that we can be useful for their agenda. Go to Acts 6 and verse 2. Acts chapter 6 and verse 2.
Okay. Acts chapter 6, verse 2.
Go ahead.
Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them.
Read.
And said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of the Most High.
Right. Now, the problem with this is you were never taught the word of the Most High. So you weren't leaving off of anything. You were just living your life as what? A good old American, law-abiding citizen, right? I'm proud to be an American. I'm a good old American. I'm just living my life according to what America says. And America says 12 years of education, 4 years of college, and then you slave away, because once you go into that 200,000, 250,000 debt, you know what you sell? Or you know what an employer does? They buy, on average, about 30,000, 35,000 hours of your life for you to be able to pay that money back. They buy you. See, we don't look at it like, yo, I just got bought. When you go work for Wally World or Walgreens, they're buying you. They're buying your time. But is it a fair trade? Come on, man, $10 an hour. My time is valuable. $10 an hour?
How much are they making off of you? They paying you.
Oh, well, they're making billions. Come on, man. You could probably look it up and see what does Walmart make off of the average employee, or what does Walgreens make yearly off of the average employee. And it's probably 10 times more than what they pay. Oh, it's definitely 10 times more than what they pay, because they buy hours from you for you to be able to pay back this debt that they put you in before they even educate you on this higher. What was the movie Higher Learning? Remember with Ice Cube? Oh damn! Just gotta watch movies, man. Yeah, it was Ice Cube, Busta Rhymes. It was Lawrence Fishburne. It was a good movie. But they called it Higher Learning. Omar Epps, right? But it was they were in a black college. Where were they at? Spelman or something? It was Naomi. What's her name? Not Naomi Campbell. It's the other one with the big forehead. Supermodel chick.
Neil Long?
That was Naomi Campbell.
No, it wasn't Naomi Campbell. It was
Tisha Campbell.
no, not Tisha Campbell. Y'all know who it is, man. She did America's Next Top Model.
Oh, Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks. That was the fine Tyra, right? But yeah, they tell you got to get this higher learning. Like this is the highest form of education. Spelman College and Harvard and Stanford and UCLA. That's not the highest form of learning. This is it right here. This is it right here. Like, show me what college Solomon went to. Ooh, he ran the world. He ruled the world. What college did Adam go to? Adam ruled the world. To have dominion, you think that UCLA is going to give you the education you need to have dominion? Come on, man. Unless you're just trying to be the manager of the Walmart and dominate over some employees, that's all you're going to get. Business. I went to school for business management. Okay. So you know how to manage a business. A lot of them same people don't even know how to manage their own households. They don't. How come they don't teach you household management? How come they don't teach you relationship management in school? Isn't this what America is all built off of? Relationships, households. Aren't these things the little small microcosms that build this country? Each household is supposed to build a neighborhood builds a community builds this, all the way up. How come they don't teach you how to function in a neighborhood? They just say, how come they don't teach you how to buy a house? Buy a car. All these little things that you need, they don't teach you, they don't educate you. How come if gun control is such a big thing in America, they don't educate you on guns in school? How come they don't have gun classes? You gotta ask yourself, because it's not about educating anyone. It's about keeping keeping us down and putting them above. Remember, their blessing is the gun, so they're not gonna teach a nigga how to use a gun. When they got their little 5-year-olds out there on the gun range, she could load the clip, cock it back, spray it, reload it, eyes folded, field test it. Yeah. And all we can do is Fortnite. That's all our kids know how to do is Fortnite, man.
In the backpack dance.
In the pit. Right? I'm still trying to learn how to do that. Go to this real quick. Go to those figures that you had. I want you to read that.
All right, so I got these.
You could drop that, Ricardo. Yeah, he's gonna read these little. There's like we got like some statistics that are gonna be good for y'all.
So check this out. So these are the statistics real quick for the average family that graduates college.
Sure, I'm gonna send these to you.
So you got.
Can I text it?
You got the Edomites. The average Edomite family that graduates college, they make that household makes over $455,000.
Woo!
The average Israelite household.
Hold on, you going too fast.
Oh, sorry.
You going too fast.
Oh, Salakia. So the average Edomite household that graduates college, they make over $455,000.
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
No, not you.
Oh.
I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, they make $455,000. Average Edomite household that graduates college. The average Israelite household that graduates college makes $141,000.
That wasn't it.
That's what their household is worth. So the average Israelite family is worth $141,000, while the average Edomite is worth $455,000. With just some college, because you know how when you apply for a job, they say graduate of college or some college. They ask where your education is at. So there's two different ones. So you got college, which is average Edomites is 268. The average Israelite is 70,000. I guess that's the ones that don't graduate. I mean, they graduate college, but they don't get the job in their field.
So some college is 70,000.
No, that's just college. That's just college, but I guess.
All you gotta do is read this top part.
Oh,
It tells you what it is, bro.
but you have different stuff right here.
Oh, okay.
But you have some college some colleges.
Man, I'm trying to get it.
The Edomite family is 135,000, but the Israelite family with some college is only worth 18,000. Yeah, with just the high school diploma, the Edomites are worth 118,000. While this is the household, while the Israelite household, is worth 6,000. So high school only, the Edomite household is 118,000, while the Israelite household is only 6,000. That's what you're worth on average. That's the household worth. Less than high school, the average Edomite is 82,000, while the average Israelite is only 2,000. Yeah. So this is the median household net worth by race and employment status. So average Edomite full-time workers are worth 144,000, while the average Israelite full-time workers are only worth 11,000 household. The ones that are the Edomites that are out of labor, they're worth 75,000, while the Israelites that are out of labor are worth 1,700. The unemployed Edomites are worth 55,000. The unemployed Israelites are worth 1,300.
Wow.
The household income, the median household net worth by race and household income quintile. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm gonna skip that one. I'm not sure what that one is. But pretty much the median household net worth by race and home ownership. The average Edomite homeowners are worth 239,000. I guess that's what their home is worth. But the average Israelite home is only worth 100,000, well 99,000.
Why? Because I have a lower education,
Yep.
and so I got lower education, lower pay. So if I do go buy a house, my interest rate is higher. My monthly expenses are higher compared to, what is it, income debt ratio? My income is low, but my expenses are high. So what I'm getting is not worth it. I mean, they teach Esau how to get assets.
Yeah.
Right? They teach them about assets and investing in properties.
That's a book. They call it Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, nice.
And they keep us in that mindset, like going to college is the right way to do it, but that's actually to keep us in the poor man's mindset.
Yeah, well, even, and I talked about this before, even college, these Ivy Leagues and a lot of colleges were built. Yeah, send it to Sharon. A lot of these colleges were built to keep, or they were built by white people to show white people how to keep slaves and keep slavery going. Especially when slavery was banging back in the 1600s, 1700s. Your Yales, your Princetons, your Harvard, those all white male colleges. That was a slave master showing his son, this is how you keep a slave. This is how you invest. This is how you get your farm going. This is how you get your plantation going. And they were in cahoots with the banking system. J.P. Morgan and Chase and Wells and Fargo, right? They were the ones that were lending the money to these slave owners, man. So they know they've been doing it. They've been doing it for a mighty long time. They've been doing it for a mighty long time because, again, the system was never meant to make you an entrepreneur. Think about it. Most black people that are entrepreneurs, they either do it very, very early before college, or they go through all the bumps, and they say, "Man, I'm tired of working for the white man," and they start their own thing, right? But now you can start it right here, right off of this little device. I can start a business off my phone, right off of Twitter, right off of Instagram. I can start a business, and I can take payment right off of Cash App, right? No, I mean, I'm just showing you that's how easy it is. Where all you gotta do is just Google Wallet me for my services. eBay, remember eBay was popular. You throw something up on eBay, somebody buys it, they send you the money right to a PayPal. How come they don't teach that in school now? How to be an entrepreneur. They don't want you to be free in the mind like that. Because the more entrepreneurs we have, you said it to Rob?
I don't have it. I sent it to you.
Oh, send it to me. The more entrepreneurs that we have, the less workforce we have. The less people we have working, we're at Walmart, we're at McDonald's, we're at where they always try to push our people, man.
And
What?
Even if, let's just say our people go and they get engineer degrees and they become engineers, right? They just gonna end up in a cubicle. So like where I live at in the West Chase area, it's nothing but office buildings, and you see a lot of these engineers and they're just in cubicles. They're just in cubicles around a computer. You're a computer engineer. You're around the you're on your that laptop or that computer in your cubicle. You're a whatever engineer the case may be, but you'll go to the plants and all that, but it's still not. You're not like engineering your own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
What
like,
chemical
what are you
engineer
making?
has his own company?
Like what are you making? You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna go to be an engineer, like I want to like make like my own brand of something. But
No,
more
you
people
gotta,
ain't thinking like
you gotta go work for the gas company.
yeah.
Right? I'm an engineer. Oh, I work for the oil and gas. And then our people's like, I work for oil and gas, dog. Woo woo! It's like, if you work for oil and gas, that's the end all be all. Right? Ain't that how they talk? Like, man, I work for oil and gas. You can't see me. It's like, okay. Why not take them same skills and open your own oil and gas? They're not pushing that to us. They're like, go work for someone else. From there, go to where's it at? From there, go back to Acts 6 and verse 2. We're just going to get there. There's a few more scriptures.
Acts chapter 6, verse 2. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them, and said, It is not reason that we should leave the word of the Most High and serve tables.
Right? Go ahead.
Wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report,
Right?
full of the Holy Ghost.
Full of what?
Full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom.
Right. See, that's what it was about. Being full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom. From there, go to Jeremiah 9 and 19.
Jeremiah chapter 9. What was that verse again?
9 and 19?
Salakia. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 19. For a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. How are we spoiled?
How are we what?
How are we spoiled?
Go ahead.
We are greatly confounded, because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out.
Go ahead.
Yet hear the word of the Most High, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word
See
of
that?
his
He
mouth.
said, how are we spoiled? Because of our dwellings have cast us out. This is why we're spoiled, man. This is why Israel is a spoiled nation. We've been given into the hands of the spoilers. Because not only do they train us to be slaves, they train us to be consumers. We're trained consumers, man. You seen the video, how do you train the Negro to buy? They had that going back in the 40s. This is how you sell to a Negro. The Negro, he likes expensive things and he likes lavish things that he can't afford. And yeah, but if the white man got it, we want it. Go to Proverbs 22:6. Proverbs 22:6.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
Do what?
Train up a child in the way he should go.
Listen, we understand this, but so does the white man. He understands this too. You train a child up in the way he should go, you do it early. You want to make a boy into a priest, you get him early. You get him at 3-4 years old and you put him, what do they call them? Altar boys.
Yeah.
They get them early, man. You want to turn a dude into a pedophile, you do it early. So they understand. You train up a child in the way that he should go. Go ahead.
And when he is old, he would not depart from it.
Right, go ahead.
The rich ruleth over the poor.
See, they train you to be ruled over. They train you to be poor while they're rich. Go ahead.
And the borrower is a servant to the lender.
You see that? And they make you a servant to them. Because did not the curse say that you would borrow and not lend? Ain't that what the curse says?
God.
That we would borrow from them and they would lend to us on usury. So now you become a servant to them. So what do you got to do? You got to serve their jobs, man. You got to serve and build their economy. From there, Deuteronomy 28:17. So they train you to be a customer. They train you to be a slave. Not to build up your own companies, man, but to build theirs. Deuteronomy 28:17.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Yeah, your economy. Your even the thought of having an economy is going to be cursed. Where you won't even push. You'll have like Black Wall Street, and they'll bomb it, and you'll never ever try again. Like our own economy, hell no, they're going to get us out of here. It's the curse is so deep. We don't even think like, how can we come together and make our own economy work? Everybody is like, I got to do me. I got to chase the bag. They got you chasing the bag, but they didn't show you how to invest it. They didn't show you how to invest it. They didn't show you how to keep the bag. They show you how to chase it. Go ahead. What's up?
I had seen this one video of Damon Dash. He was speaking on how the other nations calls us liquid money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're on tap. They can go to us on tap. They make a new Gucci loafer. Niggas is there on tap in the Gucci store spending rent money. Niggas is on tap for the new J's. Niggas is on tap for the new chain. On tap, bro. It just like a faucet. As soon as it comes out, look at Popeyes. They got niggas on tap. They got, listen, brothers in Popeyes fighting old white women for chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I saw that too.
I seen a dude body slam an old white woman.
Yeah.
He took her out the parking lot.
Yep.
Boom! She just screamed out. Her whole body broke.
Yeah.
That was one. Then the old white dude got beat up outside because he called somebody a nigga.
Yep.
I'm like, damn, dude. All over some pork drenched chicken, some lard fried chicken. We gotta stop it, man. But we're money on tap.
Listen, Esau sold his birthright over food, and that's exactly what we're doing with Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're doing.
So,
Go to Psalm 69 verse 22.
God.
We almost done.
Psalms chapter 69, verse 22.
Go ahead.
Let their table become a snare before them.
Let their what?
Let their table become a snare before them.
Go ahead.
And that which should have been for their welfare,
Right.
let it become a trap.
And that's the thing. Education should have been for our good welfare. Now it's a trap. Now it's how they keep you working their job. Now it's how they keep you buried in their hours. Man, I gotta get this OT. That's how they keep you away from your family. Through their financial system, man. Again, you $200,000 in debt before you even leave school. Graduate or not, man. That automatically just puts you in this mind that I gotta get this back somehow. Automatically. So what do you gotta do? I gotta put my family to the side. I gotta work. Can't hang out with the kids. Daddy gotta go work OT. Because I gotta still pay for your living and I gotta pay this chunk of debt. And if you got child support from some other woman, oh man, forget about it.
I mean, just think if you graduate. Just think if you graduate college and you have you're in $200,000 of debt, and then you're like, I'm gonna buy a house, and then you go and you buy your house, your little $200,000 house, and you're like, I'm gonna buy a car, and then you go and you buy you a car. That's like $200 for college, $200 for the house. That's $400,000, and then $30,000 for the car, maybe $40,000 for the car. That's $430,000, and you ain't even.
You're not even 30. You're not even 30 years old. If they even give you that much money,
You might not even be 25.
they'll definitely give you the school debt, but the house debt, they're like, oh no, you got too much debt. You're not making enough to get this debt.
You're right.
Your debt to income ratio doesn't add up.
Alright.
They don't teach you that. It's like, well, you're not making enough, but you got all this debt. Well, I can afford it. No, you can't. You got too much debt, but I can afford it. No, you can't. They don't teach you debt to income ratio. They don't teach you that stuff.
God.
Go from there. Go to Isaiah 51 and verse 1.
Isaiah 50 and 1.
Isaiah 50 and 1. So after you pay your whole life away, you become this slave for $7 an hour, whatever it is. They buy up 35,000 hours of your life. right? Because you're supposed to work a job all the way until you're about, what, you do about 30 years on the job?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about 35,000 hours if I calculated it right.
Huh.
Then you retire. Not these days, though. Shit, you retiring at 70. You putting 50 years on the job.
Yeah, sure.
Or 50 years into the workforce. Right? So read that, Isaiah 50 and 1.
Isaiah chapter 50, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Most High,
Go ahead.
where is the bill of your mother's divorcement?
Read.
And whom I have put away?
Go ahead.
Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold
See,
you?
the Most High is asking, what creditor did I sell you to? Well, he didn't sell us to any creditors. He didn't put our life on the line for a wage. We did. Read.
Behold, for your iniquities have ye sold yourselves.
For your what?
For your iniquities have ye sold yourselves.
Go ahead.
And for your transgressions is your mother put away.
You see that? And for your transgression is your mother put away. Go ahead.
Wherefore, when I came, was there no man? When I called, was there none to answer? Is my hand shortened at all, that it cannot redeem? Or have I no power to deliver? Behold, at my rebuke I dry up the sea. I make the rivers a wilderness.
Right. Go from there. Go to James 5 and verse 4. 2 more scriptures. 2 more and then we out. No. I just have that there. I don't know why I have that there. Go to James what? 5?
5 and verse 4.
5 and verse 4.
And you're going to take it down to 6. Go ahead.
James chapter 5 and verse 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have Salakia. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields,
Right?
which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth.
You see that? They keep back what they owe to you by fraud. What's the fraud? Well, that low wage is fraudulent. That low wage is fraudulent, man. That $10, 13. Listen, even $30 an hour is fraudulent. You can't raise nothing on $30 an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
You just
Two people making $15 an hour could barely even make it in America. A double, 2-parent household making 15 and 15, that's $30. You can barely, you're still paycheck to paycheck. If you got rent, you can't even really have a car note.
That just covers them. It doesn't even cover kids.
It don't cover kids. It don't cover if one of them cars break down. It don't. You got to be very strategic with $15 an hour, man. But our people think they making it because they making $15 an hour. I'm like, you ain't doing nothing. How are you living?
Yeah.
It's rough, but that's how they gas us up. Well, the minimum wage is so low. What is it? $8? So I ain't making that. I'm doubling the minimum wage. So I'm making it.
That's crazy too, because like I'm not from Texas, and what I've noticed in Texas is that your guys' wages are lower than they are in other places. Like Nebraska, where I'm from, is a white man's land.
Right?
It's in high school. I've been in high school for almost 10 years. Like that was $7.25 was minimum wage back then.
$7.20. I remember I was making $6 an hour minimum wage. I was 16. I ain't never got that ever. After that, I was like $6. Oh no, this can't do nothing for me.
Yeah, $6 is horrible.
Nigga, bro, it was $500 every 2 weeks. I remember I got that paycheck when I was in that shoe store so hard. I was like a Foot Action and Champs, bro, balling. I had $500 as a 16-year-old every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was hyped.
Bro, think about that though. $6 an hour? Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought some pancakes and some syrup today for $5.
Yeah, that's my point. But that's why it says it. The freight fraudulent, the wages are held back. Yep. Go ahead.
And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Most High.
Go ahead. And that's the thing. Our people, man, crying out. Injustice, right? Read.
Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth.
Come on.
And been wanton.
And been what?
Wanton.
Go ahead.
Ye have nourished your hearts.
Come on.
As in a day of slaughter.
Read.
Ye have condemned and killed the just.
And this is what they do when they tell you chase our education. This is all they want to do is condemn and kill you and hold back wages. Go ahead.
and he doth not resist you.
Right. Go to Haggai 1:6. Last one.
And you know what's cold about minimum wage? Most minimum wage jobs, you only get like 20 hours a week. Maybe 30 hours. You ain't even getting like full
They're
time.
all retail, right? They're all Abercrombie and Aeropostale. They're all in the mall. And they're all food jobs.
Yeah.
Right? You work at, well, no, now they paying McDonald's workers more than they paying a lot of people. You go to Seattle, dude, you making $15 an hour just off the rip. Right? Seattle is another place where it's 15 an hour, just, that's minimum wage.
Cost of living is gonna be higher there.
But cost of living, and that, oh yeah, you go to Seattle, dude, fast food, they passed that bill 2 years ago, 15 an hour off top.
In Minnesota, they offer you full benefits at McDonald's. You get full benefits.
They better, I mean, come on. McDonald's got it. McDonald's been had it. Over 100 billion customers served. Come on, you mean to tell me you can't give me dental? You mean to tell me that you can't give me vision?
Yeah.
Vision is $1 a week, a dollar a paycheck. Dental is like $3 a paycheck, man. But if you want help, that's where they get you. It's like $300 to $500 for a family. That's how they get you, though. We'll pay you, but then we won't give you dental. We won't give you vision. We won't give you the things that if you get sick, you have to come out of pocket.
Ronnie said that his first job was he made $1.50 an hour.
Yeah, I believe it. Listen, my uncle, he worked in the airport way back. Bro, he was making $1.50 an hour. But at that time, a house was like 30 grand.
Yeah, that's true.
A house was 30 grand to buy, a brand new house. A car was, my dad used to tell me about buying cars, a brand new Ford Fastback for $700.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah, so the cost.
That's still whack.
The cost was different.
Absolutely.
So you get that paycheck, man, $1.35 an hour, you balling.
Yeah.
That's a good job. Imagine making $1 an hour, 50 cents an hour. It's crazy. He said I was $3.85 at 16 with McDonald's. Dang. First job was $1.50 an hour. Wow. NY is around $10 an hour, but that's nothing out here as well. Yeah, because New York cost of living, come on, man. A room is $1,200. One room.
You get a 4-bedroom house out here.
A room in New York is like $1,200. Come on, man. How can you live out there? Gas in Cali is $5.
Yeah.
So how can you pay for it? How can you afford it? You can't.
I think some people caught on. That's why traffic is getting worse here. They're moving down here from the east.
They moving down here, yeah. Yeah, it's real though. I remember when like even Colorado, it wasn't that bad at the time where Colorado had a real good income to cost of living ratio where you can make some good dough and get good property, decent rent. Now, come on, man. Colorado is one of the highest places to live in America, just rent-wise. Right? Go ahead, let's finish it up.
Haggai chapter 1, verse 6.
Read.
Ye have sown much,
right,
and bring in little.
Go ahead.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Read.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with a drink.
And this is the problem with our people, man. We sow so much, and we bring in little, because this is what they want. Go ahead.
He clothe you,
right?
But there is none warm.
Yeah, you come on, man. That little Gucci sweater ain't doing nothing for you. That little Gucci slides ain't doing nothing. You think you on, but you call the toes out.
The weather's cutting through the jacket. Feel the chill in your bones, man.
Because ain't no fleece inside that Gucci, right? Ain't no feathers up in there.
I tell cats, Gucci is the same material you get from Walmart. Stop it. You ain't rocking silk.
It's an Italian leather.
Right.
Go ahead, finish it up.
And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
And that's the end of it. At the end of the day, man, the educational system is not to make you the boss. Their college is not to make an Israelite man. You're the slave that has to keep coming back because you got holes in your pocket or the money is burning a hole. As soon as you get it, you got to spend it. But then what does that mean? I got to keep going back to where to get the money. So that was it on that. Any questions on that?
We're speaking on everything within context of what we're speaking on. Even having your own business, it's hard to have your own business because you still got to pay for it.
Yeah, license.
Everything, insurances, and then if you're not working for a company that getting taken out of your check, you got to pay $400, $500, $600 a week. I mean a month. Sorry, and if you're not paying that, then you get taxed for not having that at the end of the year, and it's just the domino effect, the chain reaction of just
That's how they do it. But that's America's
America.
plan, to keep you, no matter what, even if we give you the means to get your own business, we got to tax you, we got to make sure you got a license for this, license for that.
We pay a fee just for the sign.
That we need to pay. If anybody want to help out with the sign, it's like $90. If anybody want to donate to getting this sign tax paid, please help out. I've been meaning to throw that out there.
And that's what it is. It's sad. You think you about to come up, save a couple duckies. What happened? Something break down.
Yeah.
Your clippers start jamming up.
And grease them.
Right.
Right?
Right. You gotta now. Listen, I'm about to have a couple duckies, oil change, tires rotated.
Car broke down.
Like now?
Right. Well, that's it on that.
Or you get sick and no health insurance.
That's it on that. I got one more thing to talk to y'all about real quick. Somebody go to Exodus. Real quick. Go to Exodus 18:21. And this is on a different topic. I gotta set something straight. A lot of brothers, man, they have an outlook, and I'm saying this. We got some new brothers in the building, and they have an outlook on when it comes to rank and the things that they're supposed to be doing in their position. And I gotta kill this mind state real quick. And this is for people online, for people in class, that brothers that sit up here, we just sitting back and not doing nothing, right? We just show up, teach, go home, that's it, right? Go to Exodus 18:21. I need you to read real clear and real loud. Read that.
Exodus chapter 18, verse 21.
Go ahead.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men,
Right?
such as fear of the Most
Wait,
High.
able men that what?
Fear the Most High.
Right, go ahead.
Men of truth.
Right, men of what?
Men of truth.
Go ahead.
Hating covetousness.
Right?
And place such over them.
Right.
To be rulers of thousands.
To be what?
Rulers of thousands.
So this is where we get our ranking system, right? You got brothers that are officers of 50, officers of 100, thousands. What's your rank? Officer
500.
Right.
100.
Right. I'm not gonna tell mine, cause I ain't got no rank. I'm just a teacher, right? But I'm bringing it out because the men that sit up here and teach, it's not just they sit here and look cool. Okay, they put in a lot of work, years to be able to sit here. A lot of dedication, a lot of discipline. Being under tutors and governors, it said men that are not covetous, right? It said men of truth, hating covetous, place such over them to be rulers of thousands, of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. Go to Psalm 75 and verse 6. Psalms 75 and verse 6.
Psalm 75, verse 6.
Go ahead.
For promotion cometh neither from the east,
Come on.
nor from the west,
Read.
nor from the south.
So promotion don't come from the east, west, or the south. Where does it come from? Read.
But from the Most High.
But
is
from
the,
who?
The Most High.
See, the Most High looks at a man's works. Brothers look at the next man's works. This is why men get promoted. You come in, you dedicate, you stay disciplined to the wisdom, you put in your work, and the promotion will come. It's not, the more promotion you get, the more you sit on your ass. That ain't happening. Right? That ain't happening. The more promotion you get, the more you got to get up and you have to fill the gaps. Okay? If I tell you about my day today, you'd be like, damn, okay. Yeah, it ain't just sit back and kick it. Go ahead.
But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one.
Right? He does what?
He putteth down one.
Read.
And setteth up another.
Proverbs 27 and verse 2. So the Most High is the judge. He put one down and put up another. Right? But he's judging each man off of their works. So the mind state can't be, because you're an officer or because you're a general, you just sit back and do nothing. You got leisure time. Ain't no leisure time when you got this responsibility of the nation, of a school, of a camp. Okay? And I got to go here to kill this mind. Read that, Proverbs 27 and verse 2.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 2.
Read.
Let another man praise thee.
Let another man what?
Praise thee.
Go ahead.
and not thy own mouth.
Read.
A stranger, and not thy own lips.
Right. So, with that, Zion, step to the front. Step to the front. We giving our rank. Read that one more time.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 2.
Read.
Let another man praise thee.
Go ahead.
And not thy own mouth.
Right. Now, Zion, good brother. Brother been here, how long? How long you been here?
2015.
Zion been here 4 years. And Zion's an officer of 500, right?
Yes, sir.
Zion has dedicated. Zion has given up. Zion is the type of brother that he don't second guess, second question. You call Zion, we need this done, Zion does it. Right? And he does it in the spirit of the Most High. He knows what's needed. He knows what he got to do. He knows his job. Nobody got to be on Zion, hey, do your job. Zion gets up daily and he does his job. He's a very militant-minded brother, right? That military background. Go to Luke 12:48. Every responsibility that we've given to Zion, he's taken it, embraced it, ran with it. Now, and I'm doing this online for everybody to see it, man, because y'all got to see that you got to have goals and things to achieve and to shoot for. You don't want to be a super trooper. You don't want to be a lifetime student. It don't take 30 years for you to sit up here or for you to be a leader. 4 years. Trooper to officer of 500. Read Luke 12:48.
Luke chapter 12, verse 48.
Go ahead.
But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes,
Go ahead.
shall be beaten with few stripes.
Read.
For unto whomsoever much is given,
Right.
of him.
There's been much given to Zion, and Zion didn't take what was given and just sat back on it. Zion studies, he counsels, he's there with the brothers, he's in the mall. Zion, we need you in this state, right? 1 minute he's in Virginia, the next minute he's here in Texas. If we need him to go to Virginia tomorrow, he'll pack up and go. If we need him to go to Alaska, he'll go. He's that type of man where he understands why he's doing what he's doing. Go ahead, read on.
Of him shall be much required.
Right? Judah 8:24. Go ahead.
And to whom men have committed much.
And rank, the much is given, the much is required. This ain't, oh, he's getting ranked to sit back and do nothing. This means that he's going to be more dedicated, more in there, more studied, right? Go ahead.
Of him they will ask the more.
Right, of him we're going to be asking more. So I'm doing this for brothers to see, man, and sisters to see that you want to step up, you're really asking for more work. This is what you're asking for. Judith 8:24, read.
Judith chapter 8, verse 24.
And this is the mind of Zion, read.
Now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren.
Go ahead.
Because their hearts depend upon us.
And this is how Zion rolls, man. He knows that he's dependent upon, and he moves with that urgency. Go ahead.
And the sanctuary, and the house,
read,
and the altar rest upon us.
Right, and with all the brothers that are here, we all know that this is us. This, all the body, what we do, the school, the sanctuary, the house, our own houses, they rest on our shoulders as Israelite men. And Zion has taken the responsibility and ran with it. Go ahead.
Verse 25.
Go to 1 Peter's. I'm going through all these scriptures. I got to go to them so y'all can see that it's not just some fictitious thing.
Yes, sir.
All right? This is the things that Zion's been doing since he's been here. 1 Peter 5 and verse 2. Read that.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 2.
Read.
Feed the flock of Yahweh which is among you.
Go ahead.
Taking the oversight.
Doing what?
Taking the oversight.
Read.
Thereof. Not by constraint.
Right. He's not here doing it by constraint or by force. Go ahead.
But willingly.
Read.
Not for filthy lucre.
Right. He's willingly given himself these 4 years. He's willingly given up. He's willingly lost. Okay, go ahead. Not for his own gain, not for his own pocket. Read.
Not for filthy lucre.
Go ahead.
But of a ready mind.
But of a what?
But of a ready mind.
The brother is ready willing and able, and he performs. Go ahead.
Neither as being lords over God's heritage.
Go ahead.
But being examples to the flock.
And his example is bar none. There's nothing bad you can really say about Zion.
God.
All right? The brother's example is on 10. This is who, for you up-and-coming brothers, this is what you want to be. You want to be this guy. You want to be these officers. You want to be this type of officer. The brother that holds the standard, the brother that shows up day in and day out, not worrying about his own personal soap opera. He's worried about the camp first and everything else secondary. All right? So with that, Amaju Shabbat.
You don't know the rank.
Saluting out, Officer Zionala of 500. Saluting in, Officer Zionala 10,000. Men of Israel, I run you. Right?
Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatham. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatham. Kum Yashala. Kum Yashala. Kum Yashala. Kum Yashala. Kum Yashala. Kum Yashala.
So the brother has been given the rank of an officer of 10,000. Okay, so not a small feat. You got a lot. You got a lot to live up to, but we know you're gonna do it. All right, so everybody give him his love, give him his daps. Everybody online. With that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
Yes, sir.
Israelites are bubbling, Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving.